How the hell do you get radiant complexion like this when all of your skincare products are not working? The answer, my friends, is gut health. Your skin is a mirror of your gut. If your gut health is not in check, your skin will show it. In this video, let's dive into exactly how you can heal your gut microbiome, how it affects your skin, and how you can achieve that radiant glow you're after. So how does gut impact the skin? First thing, they're directly linked. Here's how it works. An imbalanced gut leads to chronic inflammation, that bloated face that you're always complaining about. This inflammation can trigger or worsen skin conditions like acne, eczema, psoriasis, and rosacea. A healthy gut helps detoxify your body. And when the gut barrier is compromised, otherwise known as a leaky gut, toxins enter the bloodstream and cause inflammation and breakouts. The gut is responsible for absorbing the nutrients that is critical for skin health, such as vitamin A, E, zinc, your omega-3s. Poor gut health just means your skin isn't getting the nutrients it needs to grow and repair. And the connection to the microbiome is your gut contains trillions of bacteria. They all play a role in skin health. Beneficial bacteria in your gut microbiome reduce inflammation, strengthen the skin barrier. An imbalance where there's more harmful can lead to your acne and your redness. So if you have persistent breakouts, dry flaky skin, redness or rosacea, eczema or psoriasis flare-ups, dull or uneven skin tone, chances are your gut microbiome is imbalanced. Now that we understand the link between gut health and skin, your diet is the foundation of your gut health. Here's what you need to prioritize. Probiotic-rich foods. These are going to introduce healthy bacteria to your gut. For example, yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, and kombucha. Prebiotic foods. These feed the good bacteria that's already in your gut. Garlic, onions, bananas, asparagus, and oats. Fiber-rich foods. These promote healthy digestion and regular detoxification. Leafy greens, beans, lentils, and whole grains. And lastly, anti-inflammatory foods. This reduces your gut inflammation. Fatty fish, like salmon or mackerel, turmeric, ginger, and berries. Here are the foods you need to avoid. Anything processed. Anything. Cut it out. Done. No refined carbs, no refined sugars. Just get it gone. They contain additives and preservatives that will harm your gut and your skin will show it instantly. Dairy. This is more specific to the individual, but for some, it can really trigger inflammation. Again, specific to the individual, but gluten can seriously harm your gut. And lastly, alcohol. Alcohol disrupts your gut bacteria and weakens the gut barrier. So if you're looking to balance your gut microbiome, diet comes first, but you can also take probiotic supplements. Look for a broad spectrum probiotic, typically containing multiple strains. Include fermented foods in your diet, make them a daily staple, and only take antibiotics when absolutely necessary. They kill both harmful and beneficial bacteria in your gut. In order to strengthen your gut barrier and stop toxins leaking into your bloodstream, which leads to the inflammation and skin issues, consume collagen or bone broth. Include L-glutamine in your diet. It's an amino acid that repairs and strengthens the gut wall. And eat polyphenol-rich foods. What do I mean by that? Things like green tea, dark chocolate, and berries. Polyphenols support gut bacteria and reduce inflammation. Needless to say, stay hydrated, avoid stress, get quality sleep every single night, 7 to 9 hours in a dark room, and test for food sensitivities. Undiagnosed food intolerances can absolutely wreak havoc on your skin. Consider something like an elimination diet to identify triggers like dairy, gluten, or soy, then gradually reintroduce foods and monitor your skin's response. In the first week of doing all of these practices, you'll notice reduced bloating and inflammation. In the first month, you'll notice far less breakouts, and it improves skin texture and quality. Within 3 to 6 months, you will have clearer, more radiant skin with an even tone as your gut health fully restores. If you want 5 staples that you can just go to understand that you are going to be benefiting your gut, here they are. Start your day with hot water and lemon. Kickstart your digestion. Eat fermented foods daily. Practice mindful eating, as in chew your food thoroughly before you swallow it. Limit snacking to allow your gut to rest between meals, and incorporate fasting 12 to 16 hours overnight. This gives your gut time to repair. You can now address the root issue of your acne, your inflammation, redness or rosacea, and unclear skin. So stay consistent and let your skin reflect your inner health. Best of luck, gang. If you've not been living under a rock, you've probably heard of mewing. It's a simple yet a powerful and important technique that has gained a load of attention over the past few years for a good reason too. But there's recently been a new notion that mewing is bad, or mewing doesn't really work, or mewing is just frauding in some type of way. Is that true? Short answer, no. Of course it's not true. Mewing is an essential foundation for building a good jawline, getting good maxilla development, and improving your overall health, which is what 80% of looksmaxxing is. Health maxing. So firstly, let's just hop into what is mewing for those of you that don't know. Mewing is the practice of maintaining proper tongue posture, which is against the roof of your mouth. And this isn't just about touching your tongue lightly, this is about engaging your entire tongue, specifically the back third. It was popularized by Dr. Mike Mew, orthodontists who were way ahead of their time and believed that proper tongue posture can influence your actual face shape. This concept ties into how our face responds to external forces, all ties into joint suture theory. By applying upward pressure on your maxilla, you're going to apply pressure on that suture that runs down the top of your mouth. When it senses this pressure, it triggers it to grow, and a wider palate is going to give you wider cheekbones, higher set cheekbones, and more forward growth over time. So how does it work? Here is how mewing works at a biomechanical level. Upward pressure. When your tongue goes against the roof of your mouth, it applies upward pressure to your maxilla, encouraging your maxilla to move slightly forward and upwards over time. Secondly is facial symmetry. Proper tongue posture helps balance the forces on both sides of your face, potentially removing any asymmetries you might have had. Jawline definition. Mewing trains to keep your mouth closed and keep you breathing through your nose, which activates all of your deep neck flexors and suprahyoid muscles, which is going to give you a better jawline over time. And also, fourthly, improve posture. Keeping your tongue in the right position in your mouth actually naturally aligns your head and neck to be in a better posture than if you didn't. So to sum it up, what are the main benefits of mewing? A sharper jawline. This is for more forward growth, and though your mandible might not change or grow, it will sit differently as your skull works as a unit. So as your maxilla develops, your jaw will too. It also, like I said, strengthens all of these muscles up here and in here. You get improved cheekbones. Mewing enhances your mid-face projection. You get better facial symmetry. You get enhanced mid-face structure, which improves the overall harmony of your facial proportions. And you also get health benefits, which is the most important one. Nasal breathing reduces the risk of snoring, sleep apnea, and any other breathing related issues. So what do I mean when I always say hard mewing? Hard mewing is the more aggressive version of mewing. Simply put, you just do the exact same thing, but engaging every single muscle, making sure that you are applying as much pressure as you can when you do so. It's going to accelerate your results of mewing, but there are some things that you need to keep in mind. The goal is to engage the entire tongue, especially your back third. You're going to press with firm, constant pressure. Hard mewing should still be done with your mouth closed and your teeth touching lightly, but applying too much pressure too consistently throughout the day can lead to a lot of soreness in your jaw and tension that could lead to improper alignment if done incorrectly. It's also important to avoid clenching your teeth when you hard mew. It can be tempting, but you got to stop. And this is for people that are already comfortable with mewing techniques. If you're someone that always has your tongue on the roof of your mouth anyway, this is something you definitely want to implement. If you're someone who already mouth breathes and is just trying to keep their tongue on the top of their mouth throughout the day, I wouldn't start with this. It is far more aggressive. And like I said, it could lead to facial imbalances if you are not already well suited to mewing. It's better to implement big changes like this slowly and make sure you get the basics done first. So if you're new to mewing, here's a step-by-step guide on exactly how to do it right. Firstly, press the entire surface of your tongue against the roof of your mouth. There is a point where your breathing gets closed off when your tongue is pressed against the roof of your mouth. Obviously, you still need to be able to breathe when doing this. So right before that cutoff, where you can still breathe but all of your tongue is still there, is where you need to be. The tip of your tongue should rest just behind your front teeth and not be touching them. And your teeth should be lightly touching without your jaw being clenched. And make sure when you do this, you maintain good posture, keep your head upright, keep your shoulders back, your chest up. You know, the basics. And consistency. Mewing is not something you are going to see overnight results with. It is a very long-term practice. Aim to keep this tongue posture all the time throughout the day. If you are not eating, talking, or training, you should be mewing. So what results can you actually expect from mewing? 1 to 3 months in, you might notice some subtle changes in the appearance of your double chin fat and overall jaw definition. 6 to 12 months, you might experience improved facial symmetry and slight enhancement in your cheekbone projection. And in 1 to 2 years, there will be significant changes in your mid-face projection and your overall facial harmony, especially if you're starting this when you're young. And by young, I mean anywhere from 13 to 16. Go for it. It is optimal time. Your sutures are not fused yet by any means, and mewing is going to have a huge impact. And just to say, the reason why mewing had this notion of being bad all of a sudden was because when you mew, your hyoid bone lifts. That's the motion. So obviously it's very good to do in pictures. If someone's taking a picture from the side, you want to be pressing your tongue firmly against your mouth because it makes your jawline look way better. So people assumed that this was frauding. It's just something you do for pictures that doesn't have any long-term effects. But anyone that says that clearly has no understanding of joint suture theory or myofunctional therapy. So mewing is still one of the simplest and most effective ways to enhance your face, whether you're aiming for a sharper jawline, better cheekbones, better mid-face projection, more facial harmony. It is your go-to. It is a must. So if you're not already, start with normal mewing. If you already do that, go to hard mewing. I would typically recommend doing like dedicated 20 minutes across the day, making sure that you are really feeling that burn. I like to do it when I'm working. I can just do it subconsciously. Or if I'm on a long walk outside, It's useful to just go, right, I'm gonna spend the next 20 minutes with my thoughts, consciously hard mewing too. The results are clear, the benefits are undeniable. So good luck with your mewing and hard mewing, and as always, let me know if you have any questions. Much love, gang. Improving your jawline can completely transform your look, but if you go about it the wrong way, you could end up with injuries, imbalances, or worse. Let's break down the biggest mistakes that people make when trying to get a good jawline. Firstly, overusing your jaw trainer. I'm talking about those rubber balls or the rubber pads that go in the premolars. I would recommend not using them at all, but if you are going to use them, here's why you need to be careful about overusing them. Overloading your masseter muscles can lead to unnatural hypertrophy, creating a bulky, square look, rather than the sharp, defined jawline that most people want. Excessive use of something like this increases your chance of TMJ massively. If you don't know what that is, it's basically jaw pain, jaw clicking, or locking up of the jaw. This can give you chronic discomfort and even require medical intervention. You need to be extremely careful when you train your jaw. You should know that jaw trainers do not mimic the natural range of motion of how your jaw needs to be worked. The only thing that's really going to get you there is chilling. So I would skip the jaw trainer altogether and focus on eating tough, natural foods like crusty bread, steak, or carrots. These do provide enough resistance. If you consciously chew, you will feel a burning sensation in your masseters just after 1 meal. If you do that 3 times a day, you're good. Trust me. Let's talk about the towel method. This is biting onto a towel while you hold it and pull it down, thinking it's going to build strength in your jaw. Okay, so why is the towel method wrong? The towel method is going to put uneven strain on the jaw joints and muscles, which is going to lead to misalignment or excessive stress. The repetitive down-pulling motion can actually stretch and weaken ligaments around the jaw, reducing its stability over time. And the main thing is that it doesn't replicate the natural motion of chewing. It's unnatural, it's risky, and also it can actually deform your teeth over time. Think of the front of your teeth like this. Excessive strain over time is going to manipulate the way your teeth look. We know this through braces. Enough pressure over time is going to completely change your alignment. So doing it too much can actually make your teeth more like this. You want to be careful. Another big mistake, neglecting getting shredded. Neglecting your body fat reduction. Jaw exercises alone will not give you a good jawline. It doesn't matter what exercise you do, if you have high fat around this area, you will not see any gains. Even if you have the highest set hyoid bone, the strongest masseter you've ever seen, you won't get the benefits of hollow cheeks. You won't have any good side profile projection because there'll be just too much fat to actually show off the work that you're doing. Getting lean is absolutely vital in this process. The only way I would recommend that you lose weight is through nutritionally dense food and a caloric deficit and a rigorous training routine. None of this starve maxing bullshit I'm seeing online. Keep it simple, stick to what works, stick to what's healthy. Another common mistake, overloading your jaw with asymmetrical movements. Make sure you're not just chewing on one side if you don't already have asymmetries. Consciously chew on both sides. Consciously make sure that the burn on either side of your jaw whenever doing any type of exercise is completely equal. And also, don't ignore your neck and posture. You can't just focus on the jaw to get a good jawline. Forward head posture compresses the neck and weakens the muscles around the jaw, leading to a recessed or saggy looking appearance. With a double chin, posture is vital. The last thing you need to be careful of is believing quick fix myths. There is no shortcut to building a good jaw. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of dedication, it takes consistency and discipline. If you see any product that is saying that here's how to get a jawline in 7 days, your BS detector should be going off like crazy. Ignore it, it's a scam. They are peddling something. They are just trying to get your money from your insecurities. Instead, commit to sustainable lifestyle changes so that you can ensure that you see the right progress, the healthy progress over time. Your jawline is a reflection of your overall health, posture, and habits. You don't need gimmicks, jaw trainers, risky exercises, or things like the towel method to achieve the results you want. By focusing on natural movements, eating tough foods, and maintaining good posture, you'll gradually sculpt a defined jawline in the long run, without the risks. Good luck, gang. Have you ever noticed how someone's eyes can completely transform their appearance? They can go from having prey eyes and looking weak, looking submissive, to looking assertive and dominant just from their eye area alone. Your eye area is one of the most important parts of your face. If you think about it, it's the bit that everyone looks at first. Your eyes are the first impression someone gets of you. So your eyes play a huge role in how you're perceived. So this is exactly how you can begin to maximize your eye area. Orbicularis oculi training. It is a technique that you can use to strengthen and also begin to gain control over the muscles around your eyes. We'll explore how it works, how to do it, and how it can enhance your facial expressions, making you look more attractive and more confident. Firstly, the orbicularis oculi is a muscle that goes around your eyes. It's like a ring. It controls your ability to blink, your ability to squint, and express emotions through your eyes. Being able to control this muscle will mean that you can either create a warm and engaging, friendly expression, and you can completely transform it to get that hunter eye appearance, more aggressive, more dominant, within the flick of a switch. That sharp, intense look like you see in some of my pictures was no accident. It took training, it took practice, but here's how to go about it. But firstly, training this muscle isn't just about better facial expressions. It directly impacts how you're perceived in life, in social or professional settings. A strong Orbicularis oculi contributes to facial symmetry, and symmetry is one of the key factors of attractiveness. Having good control of this muscle will also enhance your ability to have genuine expressions. You may be having genuine emotions, but if you don't have enough facial control, how can you convey that? And when you enhance this muscle, you improve your ability to show genuine emotions, making you appear way more charismatic and way more approachable. And don't forget, your social charisma is a huge factor in what makes you attractive. No, it's not just all about the way you look, but the way you hold yourself, the way you talk, the eye contact you can hold. And not only that, when you improve your eye contact through training this muscle, you're going to find that people will engage a lot better with you in conversations. Before and after improving my eye area, the difference when I was speaking to people is outstanding. I'm telling you, after I improved my eye area, if I am looking at someone with an intense stare, listening intently to their conversation, often start blushing, sometimes they look away, sometimes they say, why are you looking at me like that? So 100% improving your eye area is going to make a huge difference. So let's get into the actual training techniques. The techniques are simple, but consistency is key for noticeable results, like everything. The first is going to be squinting. Try and do this indefinitely throughout the day, but ensure that you are not having any wrinkles in your forehead whatsoever, like this. You want to be making sure that whenever you're walking around, having conversations with people, doing anything whatsoever, when you're thinking about it, I want you to be having this squint look. It's not too much that it looks ridiculous, but it's not too little so that your eyes look dead like this either. You want to be engaging this muscle. The next is an eye squeeze with resistance. You want to close your eyes tightly while placing your fingers on the outer corner of your eye, pulling it up. You're blinking against the resistance that you're putting here, like this. You can do it one at a time or with two hands, like this. With all of these sets and reps aren't so important. You really just want to do it until you feel a burn. Now, this one will most effectively train your Orbicularis oculi, but don't forget, so much actually goes into what makes your eye area look good that simply training the muscle might not be enough. This is where expression control comes into play. I want you to practice in the mirror, smiling with a slight warm squint in your eyes. You'll feel a slight lift in your cheeks and your outer eye corners. And also I want to mention the significance of the Auricularis posterior. A lot of people got confused when I started talking about this because it is the muscle behind your ear. If any of you can wiggle your ears and make them move back and forward without you touching them, that is because you are engaging that muscle. So what the hell has that got to do with your eyes? Well, it can actually give you a more positive perceived canthal tilt. What do I mean by a perceived canthal tilt? Well, your eyelid hooding can have a huge effect on how your canthal tilt looks. For example, if I make my eyelid hooding negative right now, you can see that my canthal tilt looks pretty negative. But if I engage the right muscles in my frontalis and my auricularis posterior, you can see it has a far more positive appearance. Now, a lot of people say this looks strange. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. The technique is there if you want it. Remember that beauty is not found in features, it's found in proportion. So though this will change the actual feature and make your eyes look completely different, you should be assessing with yourself and the other people in the community. You can ask around and see whether it looks better or not. Looking good and glowing up is so specific to you that you need to understand these methods and try them, but understand that there's no one method that will work for everything. It worked really well for me, it might not for you. It's best to get a load of second opinions and see for yourself. So what can you actually expect after consistent Orbicularis oculi training? After 1 to 2 weeks, you're just going to notice that you're getting better facial control. 1 to 2 months, you're going to notice that the squinting that you've been doing throughout the day is going to become far more subconscious. Your eyes are going to appear more slit-like without you having to even think about it. And after 6 months, your eyes should look far more youthful, have a sharper appearance, and have more of a hunter eye appearance than they did before. But here are some mistakes that you should know so that you can avoid them. Firstly, do not overexert the muscles. When you strain or overdo the exercises, you could actually lead to gaining more wrinkles. The key is consistency, not doing loads in one go, but implementing it 5 or 10 minutes every single day will do the trick. The other mistake is ignoring other facial muscles. While focusing on the eyes is indeed important, you want to balance it with training other facial muscles too. And the third mistake is inconsistent practice. Doing the exercises occasionally won't lead to noticeable results. Consistency is 100% key. So start small, stay consistent, and let me know in the chat how these exercises are working for you a couple weeks down the line. Much love. the ultimate guide to boosting your IGF-1. IGF-1, or insulin growth factor 1, is one of the most powerful hormones for muscle growth, recovery, and overall performance. Here is exactly how to max out your IGF-1 naturally without any shortcuts. What is IGF-1 and why does it even matter? It is a hormone that is produced in your liver in a response to growth hormone. It plays a key role in your muscle growth, fat loss, recovery, and bone health. It stimulates protein synthesis, it improves your metabolic rate, speeds up tissue repair, and supports bone density and growth. Maximizing IGF-1 naturally is about optimizing your lifestyle, your diet, your habits to unleash its full potential. So let's talk about nutrition. Your diet is going to directly affect how much IGF-1 that your body produces. Here is what you should be eating, and here's what you should be avoiding. Protein-rich foods. IGF-1 production is stimulated by protein intake. Focus on complete proteins. I'm talking grass-fed steak, eggs, wild-caught fish, and Greek yogurt. You know the drill. Dairy products boost your IGF-1, especially milk. They contain natural growth factors and amino acids that wholly support your IGF-1 production. Healthy fats boost it. Avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish. You should be getting your carbs in for insulin regulation because insulin helps trigger IGF-1 release. So carb timing matters. Includes sweet potatoes, brown rice, oats, and fruits like bananas or berries. And if you want to know the superfoods for IGF-1 production, it is colostrum and bone broth. Colostrum is a nutrient-rich milk product. It directly enhances IGF-1, and bone broth is rich in collagen, amino acids, and supports tissue repair. You should be avoiding any refined sugars and processed foods. It doesn't need to be complicated. It really is that simple. These are going to spike your insulin without providing nutrients. And alcohol highly suppresses your IGF-1. So let's get into the exercises you should be doing to maximize this. Here is exactly how you should be structuring your training for optimal IGF-1 production. Focus on compound lifts like bench, squat, pull-ups, deadlifts, and use heavy weights when doing so. 75 to 85% of your 1 rep max, going to about 6 to 10 reps when going to failure. IGF-1 responds well to volume, so consider high volume workouts. Add accessory exercises too, like lunges or rows in your routine. Also, high intensity interval training, otherwise known as HIIT, short bursts of intense effort followed by rest. This drives your IGF-1 production through the roof. For example, 30 seconds of sprint, 60 seconds of rest, 5 times. And needless to say, you should be progressively overloading. The goal is to improve. You should see that in your exercises too. Now, if you really want to know the IGF-1 powerhouse, similar to your test, it is sleep. Most IGF-1 is produced during sleep. It's extremely closely tied to growth hormone secretion. Poor sleep will severely limit your levels that you can produce. So as I've mentioned, 7 to 9 hours per night of quality sleep. Sleep in a dark room. Darkness enhances your melatonin, which indirectly supports IGF-1 production. And avoid screens before bed. The blue light is going to disrupt your melanin and give you a worse night's sleep. Now, it's important to understand that IGF-1 does not work by itself. It's influenced by other hormones in your body. Here's how to optimize them. Insulin. Insulin's sensitivity helps regulate IGF-1. You can improve it by eating complex carbs and pairing them with protein and fat. And avoid long periods of fasting after your intense exercise. Growth hormone. Growth hormone stimulates your IGF-1. So prioritize your sleep, exercise, and fasting to support your growth hormone levels. Let's talk about the importance of cold and heat therapy. Temperature extremes are going to increase these levels and also aid recovery. Firstly, cold therapy. Things like ice baths or cold showers reduce inflammation across your entire body and promote recovery, ensuring IGF-1 production is at its maximum. You don't want your IGF-1 being wasted on chronic inflammation. Make sense? So you should be doing cold therapy after your workouts for optimal repair. Heat therapy. Saunas improve your circulation and your growth factor release. Try and spend 15 to 20 minutes in sauna 2 to 3 times per week. And it is vital you avoid these IGF-1 suppressors. Chronic stress, sedentary lifestyle, and overtraining. These 3 things are going to be the biggest things that limit it. And if you want to go down the supplement route, here are some supplements you're going to want to take. Remember, lifestyle and diet come before supplements, always. But if you're not reaping the rewards you want, these are going to enhance it. Colostrum, straight to the source. L-arginine, some amino acid. Creatine, zinc and magnesium. These can support recovery and your hormonal health in a whole. And ashwagandha, reducing your cortisol. Let's talk about hydration and electrolytes. Drink 2 to 3 liters of water per day and include electrolytes in your drinks, like coconut water or Himalayan pink salt. This is going to support proper muscle function. IGF-1 is one of the keys to unlocking your full potential. Whether it's building muscle, recovering faster, or enhancing your overall vitality, by following all of these strategies mentioned, you're going to max out your IGF-1 and become healthier and more attractive. Consistent habits lead to unstoppable results. Best of luck. This is the ultimate guide to boosting your testosterone levels naturally. Testosterone is not just about muscles, it is about energy, confidence, vitality, bone density. In terms of looking attractive as a man, this is your anchor. In this video, I will show you every single way that you can max out your testosterone as a man, so that you can begin to dominate every single aspect of your life looking good while you do it. So why is it crucial? Testosterone is the primary male hormone responsible for muscle gain, fat loss, your mood, your libido, and overall energy levels. Optimizing your testosterone is not about shortcuts. It is about maximizing your body, your mind, and lifestyle for peak performance. Let's dive in. First thing you need to consider is your nutrition and how to eat the right foods to fuel your hormones. Your diet is the foundation of healthy testosterone levels. Here's what you prioritize and here's what you avoid. Firstly, healthy fats. Testosterone is synthesized from cholesterol. In your diet, you should be including eggs, grass-fed butter, avocados, olive oil, fatty fish, and nuts. Zinc-rich foods. Zinc is absolutely crucial for testosterone production. In your diet, include oysters, red meat, pumpkin seeds, and chickpeas. Magnesium-rich foods. These are gonna help lower your cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and improve your testosterone. The two don't go hand in hand. You should be including spinach, dark chocolate, almonds, and cashews. Vitamin D. This acts as a steroid hormone, directly linked to your test production. As much as you can, you should be including fatty fish, egg yolks, and liver. And of course, prioritize natural sunlight exposure. More on that later. Also consider cruciferous vegetables. This is going to help balance your estrogen levels by promoting estrogen metabolism. To make it simple, eat things like kale, broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. If you want to know the testosterone superfoods, the highest on the chart, raw honey. This contains a lot of boron, which is also going to boost your teeth. Dark chocolate, super high in antioxidants and magnesium. Beef liver, packed with testosterone supporting nutrients like vitamin A and zinc. Foods to avoid. Anything processed. It contains trans fats, additives, and loads of junk that are going to harm your test. Cut it out. Eat nutrient-dense organic whole foods. Soy products. These contain phytoestrogens. It's going to mimic estrogen in the body, and excess alcohol. Alcohol directly reduces your testosterone and increases your estrogen. Diet out of the way. Let's talk about training. How do you train for high testosterone? Physical activity is one of the most effective ways that you can boost your testosterone. Focus on these strategies. Strength training, especially compound lifts. Compound lifts like squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, or flat bench prove to be the most effective for testosterone production. Train 3 to 5 times per week, focusing on heavy weights. Ideally, this should be around 6 to 10 reps, with the last rep being damn near failure. High intensity interval training, otherwise known as HIIT. This is alternating between short bursts of intense effort and rest. For example, 30 seconds of sprinting, 60 seconds of rest. Repeat that 5 times. Heavy on the sprinting. And this one might come as a curveball, but you need to avoid overtraining. Overtraining can increase your cortisol, which suppresses your testosterone. Prioritize rest days and good recovery. Let's talk about lifestyle habits that completely maximize your testosterone. You already know this one's coming. Sleep. Sleep, particularly REM sleep, is when your body produces the most testosterone. You should be aiming for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every single night. Make sure that where you sleep is a sleep-friendly environment. Make sure it's cool. Make sure it's dark. Avoid screens 1 to 2 hours before bed. Avoid the blue light interfering with your melanin production. Yes, doom scrolling is killing your test. Put the phone down. Another lifestyle factor, stress management. Chronic stress elevates your cortisol. Cortisol suppresses your test. Try and incorporate stress-reducing activities throughout the day. Stay calm, stoic-minded, meditate, deep breathe, spend time in nature, and practice daily mindfulness and gratitude. Cold exposure. Cold showers or ice baths can stimulate test production by improving your circulation and reducing inflammation. Try and aim for 2 to 3 cold showers every single week. Grounding. Real ones know about grounding. Anyone that says grounding does nothing doesn't know what they're talking about. Walk barefoot on natural surfaces like grass. No shoes, no socks. You and Mother Nature. This reduces inflammation across your whole entire body, improves your hormonal balance, and particularly if you do it in the morning, it sets you up with a mindset to win for the day. Adds to the whole reducing stress aspect. And lastly, your sexual activity. Healthy sexual activity increases your test. Regular, non-stressful sexual interactions promote natural hormonal balance. Don't underdo it, don't overdo it. Let's talk about the materials in your clothes. What should you be wearing and what should you be avoiding? Avoid tight underwear and pants. Restrictive clothing can actually increase your scrotal temperature. What do I mean by that? It means your balls get too hot for your sperm count to be healthy. It can actually seriously negatively affect your testosterone. You should be choosing natural fabrics. Wear loose, breathable materials like cotton or bamboo. Keep your body cool throughout the day. And if you can, especially when you sleep, let it breathe. And you should ditch all plastics. Avoid wearing anything carrying items with plastic-based materials. They might be full of endocrine disruptors, like BPA. Back to sunlight. Sunlight and vitamin D. Sunlight exposure is absolutely vital for testosterone production, your mental health, and your physical health. Spend 15 to 30 minutes every single day in direct sunlight to boost your vitamin D levels. It is essential for test production. If sunlight is not an option, consider a vitamin D3 supplement like this one here. Let's focus in on endocrine disruptors. Environmental toxins can wreak havoc on your hormones. Here is exactly how you avoid them. Everything plastic, avoid it. BPA and phthalates are found in plastic bottles. When you can, use glass or stainless steel. Parabens, found in a multitude of personal care products. Parabens mimic estrogen and lower your test. Switch to natural, low ingredient products. Pesticides. Whenever you are eating your fruit and veg, make sure you wash them thoroughly. Pesticides will disrupt your hormones. Let's talk about supplementation. This is if you want to be hardcore about it. Understand that you should be doing supplements along with the lifestyle changes. But the lifestyle changes should come first. Zinc. It boosts test and supports your overall health. Magnesium. It improves your sleep quality and lowers your overall cortisol. Ashwagandha. This is an adaptogen that reduces stress. Tonkat Ali is a natural herb that has been shown to increase your test. Tonkat Ali and boron. It's found in small doses in your food, but supplementation of boron can increase your free testosterone. Hydration and electrolytes. Dehydration is killing your test. Drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water every single day and add electrolytes to your water, whether it's Himalayan salt, electrolyte packets, or things like coconut water. These are going to keep your body hydrated and well balanced. So to recap, testosterone is not just a hormone, it is your secret weapon for energy, confidence, and vitality and attractiveness. With these natural strategies, you're not only going to boost your test, but you are also going to become the strongest, healthiest version of yourself. Your potential in this field is limitless. Good luck. All right, so you want to know how to choose the right hair products for your hair. It can feel overwhelming with so many different options out there. Fear not, this video is your ultimate guide to knowing exactly what products you need for your hair type. I'm going to tell you how you use them and how you can even revive damaged hair. By the end, you'll know exactly what to buy for your specific needs. Before diving into the products, you need to identify your hair type. Different products suit different hair textures. Straight hair. It needs lightweight control and ideally shine that doesn't weigh it down. Wavy hair. This requires products that are going to define your curls and control frizz. Curly hair, it's going to highly benefit from deep moisture. And coily hair needs intense hydration and strong hold for definition. All right, let's break down the best products for each hair type. A pomade, something like this. It adds a medium to high shine with a sleek, polished look. It's best for straight or slightly wavy hair. Ideal for anything like a slick back or side part. Pro tip, use water-based pomades for an easier washout, or an oil-based pomade if you want longer lasting results. Wax, something like this. It's medium hold and a natural matte finish. It's best for straight or wavy hair, perfect for messy or textured looks. It's something I would offer. Make sure when you apply it in your hands, you have a good 10 seconds where you really warm it up. The consistency is going to completely change and it completely affects how it's going to look in your hair. Clay, strong hold, matte finish. This is better for people that have fine or medium thick hair, especially short to medium cuts. Pro tip, add it to your roots for lift and extra structure. Cream, this gives a light hold, provides a little bit of shine, and provides a lot of moisture. Perfect for curly, wavy, or coarse hair. And it's ideal for longer or more flowy styles. When you're applying, apply it to damp hair if you want a softer look. Gel, strong hold, high shine, and it locks in your style for hours. This is for straight or thick hair that needs absolute maximum control. It's intense. Use it sparingly to avoid a crunchy finish. Less is more in this case. Sea salt spray. This adds texture and a beachy tousled look with a matte finish. Best for wavy and straight hair, and it's completely ideal for an effortless casual style that you don't mind being shaggy, you don't mind being messy. Pro tip, apply it when your hair is wet, scrunch it with a towel, and you get a good amount of waviness from that. Hair oil. This adds shine, reduces frizz, and deeply hydrates your hair. It's best for dry, curly, or coily hair. And it's great for long hairstyles that need extra nourishment. To avoid greasiness, focus on the ends of your hair, not the roots. Leave-in conditioner provides hydration, detangles, and protects your hair from damage. You can use this on all hair types, but it's best for dry or damaged hair. Hair mask. This deeply conditions or repairs dry or damaged hair. If your hair feels completely brittle or lifeless, you might want to chuck this in your routine. Let's talk about how to revive your hair if it is completely dead. Firstly, dead hair isn't literally lifeless, but it's dry, brittle, and damaged, often from overstyling, heat, or chemicals. Here's how you're going to bring it back to life. Firstly, deep conditioning masks. We talked about this. Hair oils, leave-in conditioners, and protein treatment. Look for hydrolyzed proteins in your hair products, but don't overdo it. An overload of protein in your hair can make it too stiff. Alternate your protein treatments to your hair with moisturizing products. Overall, to prevent your hair being damaged and dry, stay away from heat, chemicals, and try not to touch it too much. Things like towel drying can really take an effect if you do it too rough. Take care of your hair. Treat it with love. The right products are going to make all the difference. Healthy, well-maintained hair isn't just about appearance, it's about confidence. Now you know exactly what your hair needs. It's time to put this knowledge into action and let your hair do the talking. Good luck. Joint suture theory has gained a load of attention for its potential to enhance facial features and structures naturally through things like thumb pulling, zygomatic pushing, mewing. But while the concept is fascinating, there are some things that people still don't understand about it or are getting wrong. In this video, I'm going to cover the biggest misunderstandings about joint suture theory. I'll highlight the common mistakes that people are making when they practice it, and I'll explain how you can avoid every single pitfall that will be holding you back. So the first misconception is that sutures are highly flexible in adults. That's one of the biggest misconceptions, that people think that your sutures are still highly flexible as you age. While it's true that throughout your life, these joints will retain a small amount of malleability, the degree of flexibility decreases significantly as you age. In reality, it is children and teens that are going to have the best success when responding to external forces on these sutures. And this is because their bones are still growing. Think about why sutures are even there in the first place. Take your skull, for example. As your brain expands, it is going to push against the inner walls of your skull. This pressure on all of the sutures throughout the skull is the trigger for it to say it needs to grow. So it makes sense that when you stop growing and you go into adulthood, that these sutures fuse. The key takeaway here is if you're over 25, don't expect any dramatic results. Yes, your sutures are technically still malleable, but it might not be significant enough to see any change whatsoever. So for anyone over 25 in here, not to worry, there are still loads of things that you can do to improve the way you look. It's just that this concept can't apply to you. The second misconception is that it's a quick fix. People think they'll start thumb pulling or zygomatic pushing or mewing all the time, and within a couple months, they'll look great. And the truth is, a lot of people give up because they don't see any results because they've stuck at it for a month. You have to understand that skeletal remodeling is an extremely slow process. It can take many months or even years to see significant improvements. And even when changes do occur, they are often subtle and less dramatic. So the key takeaway from here is that patience and consistency is completely crucial. Think of the joint suture theory and all of the practices that go along with it as a long-term investment for your health and looks. The third misconception is that more pressure equals better results. A lot of people assume that applying more pressure is going to lead to more significant results over time, especially when it comes to things like mewing or thumb pulling. This is not only incorrect, but it can also be harmful. Excessive pressure can cause soreness, tension in your jaw, misalignment of your teeth, or damage to the soft tissues in your mouth. These sutures respond to consistent, gentle force over a long period of time. That's one of the reasons I like mewing so much as opposed to thumb pulling. This is because your sutures respond less well to aggressive or forceful manipulation. Like I said earlier, when your brain grows, think about how slow and subtle that process is, but also think about how consistent that process is. Another misconception is that it works the same for everyone. A lot of people think that everyone will see the same results from doing all of these practices, but it's simply not true. The truth is that results are going to vary based on your age, your genetics, your bone structure, and your consistency of practice. Younger individuals are going to see better results because their bones are more malleable. So it's important to understand and assess your own limitations so that you can limit the expectations of your results from this. Your results will be unique to your circumstances. Those are the misconceptions. Now let's talk about the common pitfalls. These are the most common mistakes that people make when doing all of these practices. It is inconsistent practice, improper technique, mouth breathing, and neglecting your overall health. A lot of people start strong, but they don't stick with it. In terms of things like technique, engaging the back third of your tongue is crucial when you're mewing, or applying even pressure when you're zygomatic pushing so you don't create any imbalances. For mouth breathing, some of you guys mouth breathe in your sleep and you don't even know it. And when I mention health, I'm referencing things like a poor diet or poor posture, or even a lack of exercise can limit your overall progress. So to ensure that you skip all of these pitfalls, learn the proper techniques, track your progress, focus on nasal breathing, and be extremely patient. This is a very long-term investment. As always, keep asking questions. Let me know in the chat how your progress is going, and let me know if you have any questions. Much love, gang. Okay, what are the main pitfalls with your skincare? Sometimes what we think is helping our skin is actually doing more harm than good. In this video, I will uncover the most common skincare pitfalls there are, and I'll include what you should do as alternatives. Okay, so the first thing is overusing skincare products. A lot of you guys, when you're trying to get better skin, buy a load of products and try all of them out. But using too many products or over applying active ingredients like retinol or AHAs or BHAs can actually be worse for your skin. Overuse can actually strip your skin of its natural sebum, leading to dryness, irritation, and even more oil production as your skin tries to overcompensate. Instead, try and keep your skincare routine simple, with a good foundation or frame of reference being cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen. Also, when you're trying out new skincare products, introduce new products one at a time to your routine. Don't go changing it up and add 4 at the same time, 5 at the same time. Your skin is going to purge. Another big mistake is using harsh scrubs on your acne. You think that scrubbing at acne-prone skin with gritty exfoliants will clean out your pores. Physical exfoliation can actually irritate and inflame the acne that's already there. This is going to worsen your redness or potentially cause scarring. It also doesn't address the root cause of the acne, like bacteria or clogged pores. Instead, I would highly recommend you use a chemical exfoliant, like salicylic acid. These will penetrate your pores gently and target the acne without causing any of that irritation that you get from scrubbing. The third mistake that you might be making is picking at your pimples or blackheads. We all do it. I'm guilty of doing it, but squeezing or popping a pimple will not make it go away faster. Picking damages your skin barrier. It also introduces bacteria and increases the chance of scarring. Use spot treatments with something like benzoyl peroxide or a tea tree oil to reduce inflammation. And you should be incorporating a gentle, sulfate-free cleanser into your routine. And make sure it is suited to your skin type. The fourth mistake, over cleansing your skin. If you're someone that washes your face multiple times a day or uses really harsh cleansers to try and get that squeaky clean feel, you're probably doing more harm than good. You're stripping your skin of its natural oils, disrupting your skin barrier, which ultimately leads to dryness, increased oil production, or irritation. Instead, cap it at a maximum of twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. The fifth mistake, skipping moisturizer for oily skin. Or do you guys think that oily skin does not need moisturizer? Well, you're wrong. Skipping your moisturizer can actually signal your skin to produce more oil. It's gonna worsen your greasiness and give the exact opposite effect you were looking for. Instead, choose something lightweight and non-comedogenic for your oily skin. For example, gel-based formulas. The sixth biggest mistake is using the wrong products for your acne. You can't treat all acne the same way. For example, you can't use a drying product for every type of pimple. Not all of your acne is going to be caused by oil production. Some are inflammatory, like cystic acne, and are going to require other treatments. Instead, as a rule of thumb, if you have clogged pores and blackheads, use salicylic acid. For red inflamed acne, instead try benzoyl peroxide, or you can consult a dermatologist's prescription treatments. The seventh biggest mistake is neglecting sunscreen. A lot of you think that sunscreen is only necessary when it's sunny out, when you're doing activities outside, but UV damage happens every day, even indoors. UV rays can penetrate windows. Sun exposure is going to accelerate your aging. If you know me, you know I like spending my time in the sun. You want to try and minimize those aging effects as greatly as you can. On the daily, I would try and apply a broad spectrum sunscreen with at least SPF 30. And if you're outdoors, reapply every 2 or 3 hours. Another big mistake is using hot water on your face. Some of you think that really hot water is going to open up your pores. Again, hot water can strip your skin of its natural oils, causing more oil production. And secondly, your pores do not actually get bigger or smaller. They just appear more open when they're clogged. So instead, use lukewarm water every time you wash your face. Another big mistake is not changing your pillowcase frequently enough. Try and use a silk or bamboo pillowcase and change it every 2 to 3 days. Your pillowcase is most likely collecting oil, bacteria, and dirt that every night you're putting back onto your skin. Cut it out. And the last mistake is overlooking the importance of hydration. Topical treatments aren't going to help you very much if you are internally dehydrated. 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. Skincare is not always the case of just doing more. It's about doing the right things for your skin. By avoiding these common mistakes and focusing on a more gentle approach, you can build a routine that truly works for your skin. Remember, less is often more, but treat your skin with the care it deserves. Best of luck, gang. The upturned smile and the smirk. 2 facial expressions that radiate confidence, charm, and approachability. These subtle yet powerful movements can completely transform your face. In this video, I'm going to break down why the upturned smile and the smirk work so well, what muscles you need to train, and how to master these expressions so that you can elevate your appearance and appear more in control. So let's start with why these expressions work so well. Firstly, there's positive associations. An upturned smile conveys more warmth, more friendliness. Although you may be feeling genuine emotions when you are smiling, if it is downturned, it may not be conveying the same emotion that you are feeling. I used to have a very genuine, very authentic downturned smile. And although I was just as happy as when I'm smiling now, which is obviously upturned, it wasn't necessarily conveyed that way. And it certainly wasn't as attractive. The smirk is also a powerful tool for conveying a mysterious confidence. It's subtle, confident, slightly mischievous. It's a perfect mix of charm and self-assurance, making it incredibly engaging and having such high female appeal. Having an upturned smile or a smirk in your back pocket is a very powerful tool, especially when it comes to flirting with women. So let's talk about what muscles are actually involved. To master these expressions, you need to focus on controlling these key muscles around your mouth. The zygomaticus major and minor. This is for your upturned smile. These pull the corners of your mouth upwards, and they are essential for creating that natural lifted upturned look. The next is the Orbicularis oris, not to be confused with your Orbicularis oculi. The Orbicularis is just what they say when the muscle is in a ring shape, so as you can tell, it is a ring that goes around your mouth like that. This muscle helps shape your smile and smirk. Now for the smirk, you need to be training your risorius. This muscle pulls the corners of the mouth outward. This is the muscle that you need to create that slight asymmetry when smirking. And the next is the buccinator, located in your cheeks. This muscle stabilizes your mouth movements for smooth, controlled expressions. Also, side note, I've become so good at controlling my smirk, I can literally control which crease it uses to smirk with. I found this out the other day just through expression control training. Here's the first. Right, you see that crease right there? Holy, what are we doing right now? I choose my creases now. What a life. Who would have thought Looksmaxxing took me there? So, how do you train for the upturned smirk? Well, it's sort of a frustrating answer. You just gotta keep practicing it in the mirror. First thing you wanna be doing is smile lifts. Gently smile while focusing on lifting the corners of your mouth in the mirror. Hold it as high as you can for 5 seconds, then release. Should look something like this, like you're in pain. Again, these are exercises you don't want to be doing at the gym. You want to be doing these in private. People will think you're a weirdo, but that's often what it's got to take. Repeat this 10 to 15 times per session and do it in the morning and in the evening. I do it when I'm brushing my teeth. The next is cheek pushes. You want to place your fingers on the corners of your mouth and smile against the resistance, like so. This is going to be engaging the zygomaticus muscles. Do 10 slow repetitions, holding each one for at least 5 seconds. And the main thing that you need to be considering when you're doing this is do it in front of a mirror and pay attention to how it looks. Expression control is an art. It's not just about training the muscles, it's about understanding how the difference in millimeters can completely convey a different emotion. So practice, practice, practice. So how do you train for the smirk? This one, the one we all know and love. Classic Damon Salvatore. Again, practice in the mirror trying to lift one side of your mouth. When you can, practice holding that smirk for 5 to 10 seconds. And repeat this 10 to 15 times per session. The next, similar to the last one, just on one side while keeping one side of your mouth completely relaxed. Place a finger opposing a smirk and smirk against it. Like so. 10 repetitions on each side. Huge bonus points if you can do a smirk while making sure that your eyebrows are also positively tilted. If you don't know already, positive tilt in your eyebrows is a very attractive masculine feature. No, it's not just about being born with it. I can turn it on in a second and there we go. The eyebrows are positive. Coupled with a smirk, you get a little mischievous, cute little flirty look. The ladies are gonna love it. Looks so weird when you're practicing it, I know. But that's what it's gotta take. Expression control is a very weird practice in itself because you think, surely that doesn't matter. Surely I don't need to be so vain. But if you wanna convey genuine emotions, you need to understand which genuine emotions you're having convey into what expressions other people are perceiving. Because oftentimes you can be feeling one thing and your face just won't show it. So having this full broad spectrum control can give you the ability to be a lot more authentic, even though at first glance it seems inauthentic. The next exercise for the smirk is a cheek and jaw tension exercise. Press your tongue against the roof of your mouth, mewing, hard mewing, while you're holding the smirk. This engages your buccinator muscle for greater control. Let's talk about expected results and the timeline. In 1 to 2 weeks, you'll have improved muscle awareness and greater control over your expression. In 1 to 2 months, you'll begin to notice subconscious visible lifts in the corner of your smile, which is completely optimal. Your expressions will also start to feel a lot more natural. And in 6 months, you'll be able to have a perfectly upturned smile and that smirk that enhances your overall appearance. Let's talk about some common mistakes and how to avoid them. Do not overexert your muscles. Don't force it. It's a delicate exercise. You don't need to give it a lot. Do not ignore symmetry. While a smirk is an asymmetrical expression, don't neglect either side. Just because you have a good side that finds it easier doesn't mean you should stick to that side. You should train both. Make sure you're giving it consistent practice, as like with most things in Looksmaxxing, sporadic attempts won't give you results. And make sure that you are not skipping relaxation. Give your face a rest between performing all of these exercises. So the upturned smile and the smirk are powerful tools that can elevate your appearance and your confidence. So by consistently training and practicing in the mirror and practicing these exercises that I mentioned, you will begin to gain a lot more expression control. As always, let me know how it goes in the chat and tag me if you have any questions. Much love, gang. Good luck. Did you know that poor posture and compressed spinal discs can actually rob you of your true height? Over time, gravity, poor habits, and even workouts can completely compress your spine and take away 1 to 2 centimeters off your height, making you appear shorter than you really are. Today, we are diving into spine decompression, exactly how you can do it, when to do it, why it is so good for you. I'll also share some common mistakes that you want to avoid and what expectations you can realistically have. Okay, so what is spine decompression? It is a technique that can relieve pressure on the discs of your spine. The discs are the cushions in between your vertebrae. Over the course of the day, gravity can compress these discs, which can reduce your height temporarily. For some people, if they have chronic compression, it's less temporary and more permanent. But with corrective habits like what I'm about to share, this can be adjusted. Firstly, let's talk about why you should be decompressing your spine. You unlock your true height, you relieve back pain if you have any, you will improve your flexibility and mobility, you'll boost the circulation to your discs. Decompression actually encourages better hydration and nutrient flow to your spinal discs. And you will also prevent long-term issues. Regular decompression massively reduces the chance of you getting anything like a herniated disc down the line. So let's talk about the best ways that you can decompress your spine. Okay, so the first method is hanging from a bar. Grab a pull-up bar and let your body hang freely, allowing gravity to do all of the work and stretch your lower back. Hold it for 20 to 30 seconds, 3 to 5 times every single day. Pro tip, try and avoid any swinging. Second is the cat-cow stretch. You get on all fours, you arch your back upwards, which is the cat aspect, and then dip it down, cow, in a slow and controlled motion. Perform 10 to 15 reps in one session, twice a day. This is going to relieve a lot of tension and improve your spinal mobility. The next is child's pose. If any of you do yoga, you are familiar with this stretch. You get on the floor, you sit on your heels, you stretch your arms forwards, and you lower your torso to the ground. Hold it for 30 to 60 seconds and repeat this 2 to 3 times again every single day. This focuses on relieving a lot of lower back pressure. The next is the inversion table. You use an inversion table to hang all the way upside down. If you don't have an inversion table, you can literally just use any table that's strong enough. You have your legs on the top and you relax and hang your body off the side. Start with about 1 to 2 minutes of this, focusing on deep breathing, but avoid this if you have high blood pressure or are prone to headaches, because all of the blood is going to be going to your head. The next is foam rolling. How do you do it? You lie on a foam roller, just roll up and down to decompress your entire spine. Ideally, you want to be spending around 5 to 10 minutes on this every single day. It is a superb exercise. Now, here's what you got to be careful of. You do not want to overstretch your back. If you try and jump ahead too quickly and are aiming for too much progress, you can strain muscles or worsen pre-existing injuries. You want to go slow and steady. You need to listen to your body too. If you feel any aching or sharp pains when doing these exercises, it's better to stop, slow down, and go a lot more gently. And remember, it's consistency over intensity. Doing these exercises daily for short periods of time, not pushing yourself too hard, is where to start. It's far more effective than overdoing it once in a while. If you have any pre-existing back issues before you start this, it's better to consult your own doctor. So what can you expect and when? Well, the immediate results after doing a session of this is you can seriously be 1 to 2 centimeters taller. We're talking immediately after you do this. So I want you guys to try it and I want you to let me know whether you had a decompressed spine or not and whether you added any centimeters to your height. After 2 to 4 weeks, you're going to notice a lot better flexibility and relieved back pain. And after 3 months, you are going to notice all of the effects of better flexibility, better mobility, and improved spinal health. You're going to have fewer aches and the ability to maintain your natural height more consistently. Make sure when you do this, you are not skipping warm-ups. Stretching cold muscles can seriously lead to injury. Make sure you are consistently practicing it. Doing it once or twice is not going to give you any long-term results. Do not neglect your form because proper alignment is crucial, and do not ignore any underlying issues that you may have. So spine decompression is a very simple yet very powerful technique that you can use to instantly boost your height. Try these techniques for a few weeks and let me know how they work on you, and let me know if you got any taller. Best of luck. Much love, gang. How exactly do you master your hygiene for perfect skin? This is the complete guide. Your skincare routine is not just about products. It's about your daily habits and hygiene. In this video, I will cover every single thing you need to know to maintain pristine hygiene for perfect skin. So why does hygiene matter for the skin? Well, even the best skincare products can't work if you don't have good enough hygiene. Things like bacteria, dirt, and oil will be clogging your pores. So here's how to optimize your hygiene. First thing to remember, get your hands off your face. Stop touching it throughout the day. If you have that habit, break it. Your hands touch countless surfaces throughout the day, transferring bacteria, oil, dirt, all to your face. This will clog your pores and give you breakouts. If you find yourself touching it throughout the day, I want you to do me a favor and slap yourself. Stop. You are giving yourself acne. Also, you need to be washing your face. Ideally, twice a day, morning and evening. Non-negotiable. Bonus points, you should be washing after you exercise. Use lukewarm water, not hot. Hot water can strip your skin of its natural good oils. Firstly, apply a gentle cleanser, suitable for your skin type, and avoid harsh soaps. And make sure you have clean hands and use your fingertips, not a washcloth, because a washcloth can harbor bacteria. If you wear makeup, for all the women out there, or sunscreen throughout the day, double cleanse at night. Do one wash, rinse it off, wash again. Next, you need to clean your bed sheets regularly. Your pillowcase and bedding can trap oils, sweat, and bacteria that transfer to your skin while you sleep. Wash your pillowcases at least once a week. If you have acne-prone skin, every 2 to 3 days is much better. And you should be washing your sheets weekly. If you can, use silk or bamboo as the material for your pillowcase. These reduce friction, preventing irritation and hair oils transferring from the pillow to your skin. And if you can, avoid cotton. It absorbs oil when you rest on it and can irritate your skin over time. Next, I want you to be mindful about your towels. These can be the silent culprit, so easy to not think about, and they can fully undo your cleansing routine. You should have a separate towel for your body and your face. Use a clean, soft towel every single time you wash, and do not rub your skin dry, pat it dry. Avoid irritation. And for bath or shower towels, wash these every 3 to 4 days. And don't forget about your hair hygiene. Your hair can transfer oils and dirt to your skin, especially around your hairline. So if your hair is on your forehead, be conscious of the acne that this can cause. Ideally, if you're not rocking a style to be somewhere, slick it back out your face. If you're using any products like hairspray, shield your face as best you can, because these types of products can clog your pores. Side note, if you use things like gua shas or rollers for your face for lymphatic drainage massages, you should also be cleaning these every single time you use them. They can harbor bacteria like crazy. And don't forget, you're rubbing it all over your face. So let's talk about your shower routine. Non-negotiable, shower after you sweat. Always rinse off sweat, even if it's just a rinse, every single time. Sweat clogs pores and also gives you body acne. Avoid long, hot showers. They strip your skin of its natural oils, which can lead to too much dryness. And needless to say, don't use body soap on your face. It's too harsh. Also, bonus points, don't ever touch your pimples without perfectly clean hands. Picking or squeezing blemishes in any case can introduce bacteria to it and can cause scarring. Keep your nails short and clean. Hydrate throughout the day, 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. And if you're in really dry climates, it might be worth you using a humidifier. When your skin dries out, it can actually trigger your body to produce more oil, which can lead to more breakups down the line. Master your hygiene, master your skin. Best of luck, gang. Growing your beard is not just about your genetics, it is about giving your body the right tools it needs to thrive and the right follicle stimulants so that it can reach its genetic potential. In this video, I'm going to break down all of the real methods to grow a fuller, thicker, healthier beard, no matter where you're starting from. Whether you're dealing with patchy growth or you just want to speed things up, I've got you covered. I am in the process of doing this myself. Before we dive into the methods, let's quickly cover the basics of beard growth. Firstly is genetics. Genetics play a significant role in beard growth. All of your family can grow thick, full beards. You've got a shot at growing one too. Also your hormones. Hormones like testosterone and DHT are key drivers of beard growth. Boosting these naturally can make a big difference. Also understand that your beard growth is going to go through 3 stages. Anagen, which is growth, catagen, which is the transition period, and telogen, which is the rest period. The goal is to extend the anagen phase as much as you can. So let's talk about oils and topical solutions. First thing is castor oil. Castor oil is rich in ricinoleic acid, which increases the blood flow to the hair follicles, promoting growth. Emu oil is also proving to work very well. It penetrates deeply into the skin, reducing inflammation and providing nutrients to dormant follicles. And also rosemary oil. Some studies show that rosemary oil can be just as effective as minoxidil in some cases. So it's a good way to promote your hair growth without all the side effects. Also bonus points if you mix a few drops of rosemary oil with a carrier oil, something like jojoba or almond oil. That is going to speed up your results greatly. Also consider beard balms. Look for balms with natural ingredients like shea butter, beeswax, or any essential oils. And now let's talk about derma rollers or derma stamps. So how do they work? Well, when you apply microtrauma to the skin, it increases the blood flow, triggering your body's healing response and therefore boosting collagen. Dormant follicles will be stimulated and hair growth will improve. So should you choose a derma stamp or a derma roller? The only reason you'd ever really use a derma roller is just for efficiency. Derma stamping may take like 3 to 5 minutes when you do it, and using a derma roller really only takes about a minute. But how busy can you really be? If you want the results, just do the derma stamp. It yields slightly better results, so that's always the one I'm going to go with. You should be using needles with a 0.5 to 1 millimeter range for the best results too. So how do you use them? Clean the tool with rubbing alcohol before and after each use. Then you want to stamp the tool across every area of your beard in different directions, focusing specifically on any patchy spots, and use it 1 to 2 times per week, and you should be using the oils every night. Now let's focus on nutrition and supplements. What you put into your body directly affects your beard growth. So here are the key nutrients and supplements to focus on. Biotin. Aim for about 2.5 milligrams daily. Find this in eggs, nuts, avocados. Zinc and magnesium. These minerals boost testosterone, which is critical for beard growth. Protein. Your hair is made of keratin, which is a protein. So make sure your diet includes plenty of lean meats, fish, and eggs. Also be including omega-3 fatty acids, found in fish, walnuts, flax seeds. And if your diet isn't perfect, a quality multivitamin can go a long way too. Also, let's not neglect lifestyle factors and how that can improve your beard growth. You need to be getting quality sleep, 7 to 9 hours every single night, controlling your stress, exercising regularly, staying hydrated, 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. Avoid drinking and smoking, because all of these things are potentially going to limit your beard growth. But if you are really struggling with your beard growth, you've tried all of that, let's talk about minoxidil. It's commonly used for scalp hair, but it can be used on your beard too. But it does have side effects like dryness or irritation, but you've got to consult a doctor before using it. And also be aware that when you stop using it, you run the risk of the hair you grew when you were on it falling out. So it is really something you have to keep up with. So just keep that in mind if you live quite a spontaneous lifestyle where it's hard to get into a routine. If you skip a night of using it, you may run the risk of all of the hair you grew on it falling out, which I find kind of ridiculous. So for that reason, I would personally stick to hormone optimization and derma stamping and essential oils and stuff like that instead, because they have no side effects. So when you implement these with time and effort, you'll see real progress. Let me know if you have any questions and update me in the chat with your progress. Much love, gang. Facial symmetry is one of the key markers of attractiveness. Yes, we all have facial asymmetries, but there are ways that you can highly improve yours. Symmetry is universally recognized as the marker of health, balance, and attractiveness as a whole. Nobody's face is perfectly symmetrical. If you use that inverted filter, you know, I know, kills your mental state too. But fear not, it does not need to be perfectly symmetrical. You just need to fix 90% of your asymmetries and you'll look great. Here's how you do that. Firstly, we've got to know what the asymmetry can result from. It can be completely genetic. It can be from your habits, like poor posture or sleeping on one side. Any injuries you might have had, any past trauma to the face can cause a lot of imbalance. And muscle imbalances as a whole. Like if you chew on one side or make a consistent facial expression that isn't even. So let's talk about the science of fixing your facial asymmetries. Your face is supported by a combination of bones, muscle, and soft tissue. By addressing each of these, you can gradually improve your symmetry. The methods I'll cover target muscle imbalances, stimulate bone alignment, and improve your tissue tone. Consistency is key. The results will not be instant. They will take time, but I promise you it's worth it. The first method, posture correction. Poor posture, especially forward head posture. This classic like curved top of spine, chin up to the sky, can actually make your jaw completely asymmetrical. How to correct your posture. Stand or sit tall with a straight spine. Keep your ears aligned with your shoulders. This is indefinitely. When you're doing anything, if you're working, walking, or doing anything sedentary, you want to maintain good posture. Hit the gym and strengthen your neck and back muscles, especially your upper back. Other videos about your jawline talk about how neck training can also heavily fix your posture. Fixing your posture can improve your facial alignment over a course of months. The second method, chewing alternately. I wouldn't recommend doing this with something as small as gum. Repetitive chewing in small ranges of motion can often result in TMJ. It's better to stick to what I always preach, which is natural, hard, tough foods, things like crusty bread, carrots, or steak, and use this to chew more so on the weaker side. You'll know what side is weaker by taking a face-on picture and just seeing which masseter is more developed. Whichever one is less developed, chew on that side. It's important not to chew 100% on that side because that can put too much strain on it too quickly. Just make sure that about 70% of your chewing is done on the weak side. Again, these results will take months, but they are worth it. Because also, if you can see asymmetries in your masseter development now, it's only going to get worse. That's your body showing you that your habits are building uneven muscle foundation. You're only going to keep building as you grow. So you got to fix it now. Third method, facial exercises. When doing the right facial exercises, you can activate underused muscles and relax overused one to bring about more symmetry as a whole. First exercise I want to talk about is resistance smiling. You place your fingers on the top corners of your mouth and you want to smile in an upwards turned smile like this and push against that. You're going to feel the resistance of your Orbicularis oris, and it activates weak cheek muscles that might be causing any imbalances by ensuring that you train both sides evenly. Do it for 20 seconds at a time, 10 minutes a day, rest in between. Another exercise is eye area balance, independent eyebrow control. I have more videos that touch on this too. Practice in the mirror, trying to train one eyebrow and then the other eyebrow. People often ask, how did I even get positively tilted eyebrows when they always used to look like this? It's independent eyebrow control. Highly useful skill. If you notice that one eyebrow is weaker than the other, do more repetitions on that side. Eventually, over time, it will be up to speed just like the other one. Another cause of your asymmetry might be to do with facial massages and myofascial release. These work because it releases the tension in the overused muscles, but also improves your facial circulation, giving you a more balanced appearance. To do this the most effectively, I recommend using a gua sha, going along your jawline, along your cheeks, up at the temples. You can either do these in pushing motions or in circular motions. It's totally up to you, whatever feels best. And I would recommend using your facial moisturizer or some type of oil to make sure that the gua sha doesn't grip to your face and everything runs smoothly. You can expect these results in weeks. It's great. Let's talk about sleep habits. If you didn't know, sleeping on one side can not only encourage more fluid to be on the bottom side, but it can actually also compress your facial bones over time, especially if you're younger. And if you want to fix this asymmetry, I would not recommend sleeping on the other side. Just go straight to back sleeping. Over time, your body will adjust and will understand that that is the right position to be in, instead of trying to counteract any other bone compression or fluid changes that have happened in your face from sleeping on the other side. As a whole, it might not make you look better, whereas sleeping on your back will. If you really struggle to sleep on your back, get a line of pillows either side of you, make it impossible for you to turn. And I would do an extremely heavy workout right before bed so that you are absolutely exhausted and you're going to sleep like a baby. Trust me, that's how I stopped sleeping on my side. It works. Now I don't even think about it. Let's talk about mewing. Mewing works. I'm sick and tired of everyone saying that mewing doesn't work. It does, 100%. The proof and the evidence is clear. If you don't know, mewing was deemed bad by a particular individual in this space who wanted to sell his own course, acting like he reinvented the wheel. I'm not going to call him out because I'm not the type of guy to like beef, but he tried to push his own agenda of what he thought was better than mewing. That led to a notion of everyone believing that mewing's bad when it is not. Mewing is great. Don't ever stop. Proper tongue posture will help align your jaw and make your facial features more symmetrical over time. Rest your tongue flat against the roof of your mouth. Bonus points if you can do this with pressure throughout the day. Keep your lips sealed and your teeth slightly touching. This can highly improve symmetry and definition all throughout your face. In the first 1 to 2 weeks of applying all of these methods, you'll start to see initial changes in your muscle tone and posture. In the first 1 to 2 months, you'll have noticeable changes in your jawline, your cheekbones, and your overall alignment. In a 6 to 12 month time frame, you can have significant, long-lasting changes that make you look more attractive and symmetrical. Try it out. As always, facial symmetry is more than just looks. It's balance, health, and confidence. By following these techniques, you can create a more harmonious and symmetrical face. And remember, your small, consistent habits are going to be what makes the biggest difference over time. Studies show that people with more symmetrical faces are perceived as healthier, more attractive, and more confident. It's vital. So get going on your journey. Ask any questions in here if you need to, and start watching the results coming in. Best of luck. What the hell is MPR? MPR stands for Mental Protuberance Resistance. It is an exercise that is going to help promote things like forward growth, a higher set hyoid bone, so that you have that snatched, cinched jawline look. It's a prerequisite to help you get a wider palate too. You need to understand that MPR in itself is not going to give you things like a wider palate and more forward growth, but it can directly address facial imbalances, fix any muscular asymmetries in your neck, and promote far better head posture. It was a method I found out when on a video call with my chiropractor. He studied bones and joint suture theory for the last 30 years. I spent hours firing questions at him that all you guys had in this looksmaxing space, seeing what works, what doesn't work. He deduced this to be one of the most important exercises when it comes to symmetry, increasing the strength of your supra and infrahyoid muscles, which I'll touch on in a sec. The exercise will help raise your hyoid bone and overall promote a healthier, stronger, more attractive face and neckline. So how does one do it? It's called mental protuberance resistance because your mental protuberance is the name for your chin bone, and you're going to be applying resistance to that in repetitions, opening and closing your mouth with the resistance coming from your thumbs. You want to place your thumbs underneath your chin. I personally like to put my hands together, looks like I'm praying, and I press the base of my index fingers against the front of my chin for stability, like so. Then, to complete the repetitions, you just want to open and close your mouth while providing moderate resistance with your hands. The repetition should look more or less like this. So what is it doing when you're doing this? It's directly targeting the suprahyoid muscles. These suprahyoid muscles are the ones above your hyoid bone. There's two things that happen when you strengthen these muscles. One, they obviously get stronger, and two, they will get more taut. Picture a bodybuilder that has trained his arms so much to the point that he can no longer straighten them. That is because the muscle has been trained so much that it has become taut and it can no longer fully release contraction. That's the goal here with your suprahyoid muscles. You want them to become tight. When they become tight, they're going to be suspending your hyoid bone higher all the time, naturally, without you having to think about it. So how should you perform the reps? First of all, it's important to note that if you have any popping or clicking in your jaw area, stop it immediately. There's a sign of early TMJ, and getting a nasty case of TMJ is going to screw over your jaw gains and give you some long-term issues. Listen to your body. If it feels like it hurts, don't do it. But if you are just starting out and you have a weak neck, I would recommend using light pressure with your hands and doing about 20 reps, resting for about a minute in between for 5 to 8 sets. As I said, listen to your body. As you get stronger, as you progress over the next coming weeks, you can increase the pressure, the number of reps, or the volume of sets, so that over time you can progressively overload these muscles. Now, understand that this itself is not going to give you forward growth. The forward growth is going to come from maxilla development. It relates back to joint suture theory. Your skull has sutures all over it. Contrary to popular belief in this community, your sutures are still not fused until around 20 to 25. Yes, it may be harder to see results if you're upwards from 17 or 18. As you may have seen, I was able to achieve pretty substantial results in just 3 months of doing this at 18 years old. So, understand that when your suprahyoid muscles get strengthened, your hyoid bone lifts, but you will be able to hard mew more frequently and more firmly. Some people like to say that thumb pulling is far more effective. Personally, I disagree. Maybe you can get more maxilla development from just thumb pulling, but you neglect all of the muscles that come from hard mewing as well, like engaging the deep neck flexors, the infrahyoids, and the suprahyoids. Think of frequent hard mewing as like an all-in-one, and consistent pressure can also be beneficial too, instead of thumb pulling, which is just 5 to 10 minutes of extreme pressure, and then for the rest of the day it has all of that time to revert to what it was before. Ideally, any single time that you are not talking, eating, or hard exercising, you should be trying to at least mew, if not hard mew. When you start, you will be feeling such a burn in all of your neck muscles, because it is intense. And it is up to you how much you do it, but just bear in mind, the more you do it, the better your results will be. Hard mewing enough will widen your palate, creating better development of your maxilla. If you don't know, a wider, more developed maxilla is viewed as more attractive. It promotes healthier airways. That's why this exercise is so damn useful. Now, you should make sure that anytime you do strenuous exercise on things like your neck, you are fully warmed up. Ideally do it at the end of a workout. You want to mitigate the risk of injury as much as you can. And also take some time separately from the exercise throughout the day to stretch your neck muscle. There's really no right or wrong way to go about it as long as you're listening to your body. When you start this, you will be engaging muscles you have most likely never worked before. So take it slow, listen to the stretches your body is telling you that it wants, and by building consistent, sustainable habits, you can see real progress within a matter of months. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. Best of luck, gang. Your eyebrows are more than just a feature. They're a key part of your expression and your overall attractiveness. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can focus on controlling the muscles around our eyebrows so that we can begin to shape our brow positioning, our brow tilt, and achieve that more aggressive hunter eye look. So firstly, let's talk about why a low set brow ridge with a positive tilt is ideal. So firstly, what do I mean when I say that? A low set brow ridge are brows that sit close to your eyes, creating a very focused and a very grounded masculine appearance. And the positive tilt is the fact that the eyebrows are going this way and not this way. It is attractive because it conveys strength and confidence. You're not appearing overly expressive or surprised. When done right, it can add balance and symmetry to your face, and it avoids that typical prey eye look that is viewed as inherently weaker or less masculine. Okay, so what are the muscles actually responsible for your eyebrow positioning? First is the frontalis muscle. Its role is to raise the eyebrows. When you overactivate this muscle, over time, it can cause tension to build up here, which can actually lift your brow ridge to be too high, creating an unnatural look. So you need to focus on relaxing this muscle as much as you can. Next is the Orbicularis oculi muscle. It goes full circle around your eyes. This is going to be the muscle that helps anchor the inner part of your eyebrow close to your eyes, maintaining that low set appearance. Then you have the temporalis muscle. This is what's going to be pulling the ends of your eyebrows slightly up and backwards. This muscle is the essential muscle for achieving that positive tilt. And next you have the occipitalis muscle. This works with the temporalis muscle to bring the eyebrows slightly up and back, and it is there to just add a little bit of finesse to that positive tilt, ensuring it looks completely natural and balanced. So let's talk about the exercises you can do to begin to achieve positive tilt with your eyebrows. As you can see, my eyebrows used to be negative all of the time. And as you can see now, they rest more or less neutral, and I can make them as positive as I want them to go. This is because I have developed full facial control. They can go back the other way too, but as you can see, it doesn't look nearly as good. So the first thing you want to do is relax your frontalis muscle. So firstly, practice in a mirror. Make sure that when you're about to do this exercise, you are keeping this fully relaxed. What you want to do is you want to take your middle fingers and pull at the ends of your eyebrows. You are going to manually create a positive tilt. The goal is to try and engage every muscle apart from your frontalis, all the ones around here instead. As I said, practice in front of a mirror and make sure that your brow is staying low. So next you need to be strengthening the temporalis muscle. To do this, you should use your Auricularis posterior, which is the muscle behind your ears that is going to be responsible for pulling it back, and just focus on holding that for about 5 seconds. Then release it. Repeat that 10 to 15 times. You can do that once a day. Bonus points while you do this: you can use the palms of your hands to apply some slight pressure to your head as you pull your ears back. You should see what looks good when you do it in the mirror. Getting this more aggressive positive tilt is the end goal. Next, you need to engage your occipitalis muscle. This is going to add that natural backwards pull motion to your eyebrows. So what you want to do is you want to sit upright, maintain your focus, and focus on moving your scalp backwards. Sounds weird. Feel your scalp if you need to increase that mind to muscle connection, but it should feel as if you're tightening the back of your head. Hold it for 5 seconds, then relax, and repeat this for 10 to 12 reps daily as well. You put all of this together, you practice in the mirror over time, and you should be able to begin to develop some pretty impressive eyebrow control on either side that can enhance your positive tilt. It's important that when you do this that you train symmetrically. You can use the inverted filter on TikTok to keep flicking between and seeing where the imbalances are so that you can begin to address them. Monitor your facial habits carefully. Avoid things like furrowing your brows too much and getting these creases here, or raising them unnecessarily throughout the day. And if you can, practice maintaining a relaxed brow ridge with a subtle positive tilt through conversations, photos, whenever you get the chance to think about it. If you can't tell, that's what I've been doing this entire video and for the last 2 years. And I can also tell you that after doing it for so long, you don't have to think about it at all. It becomes your new resting facial expression as the muscles will begin to change during this process. And as always, take some photos, see how it looks, ask friends, ask family. The most important thing with attractiveness is facial harmony. So if you and others think that this doesn't suit you as much as neutral brows, because maybe your other features are hypermasculine, then opt for that instead. There is no one method that'll work for everyone, but it's definitely a useful tool that you might not have known that you had. Okay, so the short-term improvements of this are that within 1 to 2 weeks, you'll notice that you have a lot better facial control. The longer-term results are that with consistent practice, you will achieve a naturally low-set brow ridge, more positively tilted eyebrows, you won't have to think about it, and you have more masculine eyebrows that frame your jaw, make your mid-face more compact, which is more attractive, and your eyebrows will frame your eyes. Mastering this expression is a game changer for facial attractiveness. Knowing how to pose is not frauding. It is a vital skill that every one of your favorite top models also has acquired. So start implementing these tactics. Let me know how it goes. Best of luck, gang. Your smile is one of the first things that people will notice about you, and a bright, clean smile can dramatically enhance your appearance. So in this video, I'm going to cover 2 very powerful methods to make your teeth a whole lot whiter. Those 2 methods are oil pulling and whitening strips. Let's break down what they do, how you can use them, and what you can expect. Firstly, a clean white smile is not just about oral hygiene. It's actually a key component of facial symmetry, youthfulness, and overall attractiveness. Whiter teeth are going to make your face look brighter, your skin tone more radiant. It's an indicator of your vitality. If you don't know by now, your health and your attractiveness go hand in hand. First things first, let's talk about oil pulling. What is it and how does it work? Oil pulling is an ancient practice that involves swishing oil around in your mouth to remove any toxins that are in there and improve your overall health. So how does it work? The oil that you swish around in your mouth binds to harmful bacteria, so that when you go to spit it out, you spit out the bacteria too. Over time, it will reduce plaque, freshen your breath, and improve your gum health, which can actually make your teeth appear whiter. So how do you do it? First things first, you've got to choose your oil. I would recommend using a natural cold pressed oil like coconut oil or sesame oil. I personally use coconut oil as I think it tastes nicer. It's totally up to you. Then put a whole load in your mouth and swish it around for 15 to 20 minutes. Just a tablespoon will do, and avoid swallowing any of it when you're swishing it around. Then spit it out. Try and not spit it down the sink, it can clog your pipes. Try and spit it into a tissue or just straight into the trash. And after you spit it out, you should rinse and brush your teeth. Rinse your mouth with warm water and brush your teeth as usual. Okay, so what can you expect from doing this? In the short term, you immediately get fresher breath and a cleaner feeling mouth just straight away after the first session. But over time, it's actually going to gradually whiten your teeth, giving you that attractive, polished look. Okay, let's talk about teeth whitening strips. What is it and how do they work? They are flexible pieces of plastic that you just put along your teeth, coated with a peroxide-based gel. They are designed to lighten stains and whiten teeth over time. The peroxide in the strips penetrate the enamel, break down any stains caused by coffee, tea, red wines, etc. Okay, so how do you use them? First of all, follow the instructions that are on the package. Each of them will vary. Most of them require use for about 15 to 30 minutes across a 1 to 2 week period. Secondly, you want to apply them to clean teeth. So make sure to brush your teeth beforehand, but don't brush them too aggressively because you want to avoid oversensitivity. So brush them gently beforehand and then properly dry them so that these strips can adhere properly to your teeth. When you place them onto your teeth, make sure you fold them to the backs as well. It's going to make sure it has a snug fit and the gel is staying on nice and tight. After the recommended time, you can remove them, and then you want to thoroughly rinse out your mouth so that there's no remaining gel in there afterwards. Short term, you're going to get some sensitivity most likely in the first 1 to 2 weeks. It's the price to pay for such rapid results, because you are going to get visible results in 2 to 3 days of doing so. Longer term, after 2 to 3 weeks, you are going to get significant whitening of the teeth. If maintained, the results last months. So how do you combine oil pulling and whitening strips? So you don't have to choose between these methods. You can add them together and fast track your way to a better smile. Understand that oil pulling is focusing on overall oral health, and whitening strips will specifically target the brightness of your teeth. So oil pull in the morning before you brush your teeth, and use your whitening strips in that 2 week period every evening after you brush your teeth. When you combine these techniques, you're not just brightening your teeth, you're building a strong foundation for long-lasting results. But I often see people mistakes when they are going about this, so these are the mistakes that you need to be avoiding. The first problem that people make, overusing these strips. If you overuse them, it can lead to tooth sensitivity, and it can actually damage your enamel if you do it too much. So stick to the recommended usage that is on your specific brand packaging. The second mistake is skipping oil pulling consistently. Irregular oil pulling is not going to deliver you any noticeable results. Commit to doing it daily or at least 4 to 5 times a week. And the third mistake is neglecting hydration. Dehydration can actually make your teeth look duller. With everything in Looksmaxxing, it is just a rule of thumb. Drink 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. In this case, especially to keep your enamel hydrated and healthy. To keep your teeth looking white and your gums looking healthy. As a whole, avoid stain-causing foods like coffee, wine, soda. Rinse every time you eat a meal, even if it's just with water. Use a soft bristled toothbrush. This is going to protect your enamel when you brush gently with that, and make sure to floss daily. It's going to keep your gums healthy and get rid of any debris that would cause discoloration if it was there for a prolonged period of time. Your smile is one of your biggest assets. Combining oil pulling with whitening strips is the way to go for a white smile. You can enhance it naturally, effectively, and healthily. Best of luck, gang. If you want to know how to make your face look slimmer, less bloated, and more defined, you've tried getting lean, you've tried balancing your sodium and potassium, it may be time for you to consider lymphatic drainage massages and lymphatic drainage as a whole. So what is lymphatic drainage? It's a technique that helps stimulate your lymphatic system, which is a part of your body responsible for removing waste and toxins. So what is the lymphatic system? It's a network of vessels and nodes that act like a drainage system for your body. When the lymphatic system becomes sluggish, fluid can accumulate in your tissues, leading to puffiness, especially in your face. So how does your lymphatic system make you more attractive? Well, it reduces your puffiness, defines your facial features, improves your skin tone, and also detoxifies your skin. So how do you perform a lymphatic drainage massage? Keep in mind that lymphatic drainage for the face is gentle, and it's a manual technique that anyone can do at home. Here's how you're going to get started. Firstly, start with clean skin. Wash your face and apply a facial oil or serum to ensure that you have smooth movement. Then, stimulate the neck first. The lymphatic system begins in the neck, so clearing this area first is crucial. Start by using your fingers at the base of your ear and massage it all the way down to your collarbone. Repeat this on either side 5 to 10 times. Next, you want to put your fingers underneath your chin and sweep outward along your jawline towards your ears. Like so. Again, repeat 5 to 10 times on either side. Then you need to focus on the cheeks. You start at the sides of your nose and you massage gently outwards towards your ears. This is going to help reduce cheek puffiness. Next, you can depuff your eyes. To do this, use your ring finger, simply because it's the gentlest, underneath your eyes, and sweep from either corner, back and forth, again, 5 to 10 times. Then you can begin to clear the forehead. Start in the middle of your forehead and sweep outwards towards your temples, and then finish off with a final neck sweep. Just want to repeat the downward strokes that you already practiced in the beginning. You can use your fingers, you can use a jade roller, you can even use a gua sha. How often should you do it? Well, consistency is always key for the best results. If you frequently experience that puffy look, do it daily. If you just want to keep up that general maintenance, 2 to 3 times a week is fine. And you can choose to do it in the morning or the evening. In the morning to reduce that morning puffiness, or in the evening to help you detox and relax. It's up to you. Beyond manual massage, there are some ways that you can improve your lymphatic flow. Firstly, stay hydrated, 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. Secondly, exercise regularly. Activities like walking or even yoga, active stretching, they all stimulate lymph flow. And incorporate neck stretches and shoulder rolls to target the lymph nodes in your upper body. You can use cold therapy, cold water splashes, or iced spoons can enhance the effects of your lymph flow, and avoid excess salt in your diet. High sodium, as you know, leads to fluid retention, undoing all of the effects of your lymphatic drainage. So what can you expect from lymphatic drainage? When done consistently, you can expect reduced puffiness and a slimmer looking face after just one session. You'll get long-term benefits too, like over time your skin will appear brighter, you'll have that inner glow that everybody's trying to get, and your jawline will also most definitely be enhanced. Before I finish, remember these key mistakes that you need to be avoiding. Do not use too much pressure. The lymphatic system is close to the surface of your skin. Being too rough can damage your skin, and it's just not needed to get the desired results. Do not skip the neck. Always start with the neck to ensure proper drainage, and if you're trying to get visible improvements that are long-lasting, you need to be consistent. So don't practice it inconsistently. It's a simple yet powerful tool to slim your face and enhance the natural structure of your skull. Whether it's for reducing puffiness, brightening your complexion, this practice can most definitely elevate your attractiveness without the need for any drastic changes. You may already have that lean-looking face that you're trying to get, but it's just the case that you have too much fluid retention built up and you need to increase your lymphatic flow. As always, best of luck, gang. If you are lean and you feel like you don't have a lean face, it might be that you're not just that lean, but if you're really confident you are, it's facial bloat. Obviously, the first step in having a lean looking face is to be at a low body fat percentage. Ideally, around 9 to 12%. That is the most optimal level to be at for male facial attractiveness. But if you are that lean and you still have a bloated face, like me, this video is going to cover every single way that you can debloat your face to achieve that hollow cheek, slimmer look. Okay, so firstly, we need to understand why facial bloat even happens. First thing is high sodium intake. Too much salt will cause your body to retain water. Dehydration. Paradoxically, not drinking enough fluid makes your body retain more. Poor sleep. Inadequate rest leads to water retention and puffiness. Consuming alcohol dehydrates your body, causes fluid retention. Your hormones and how your hormones fluctuate. This can cause temporary swelling. Food sensitivities. If you're intolerant to dairy or gluten, foods can be a trigger for bloating and inflammation. And lymphatic stagnation, meaning there's poor circulation in your lymphatic system, which is ultimately going to lead to fluid buildup. Okay, so let's first talk about the nutrition aspect. Start by reducing your sodium. High sodium foods like processed snacks and fast foods are a major cause of water retention. It's best to always consume fresh organic foods that you cook yourself and limit the amount of salt you have. Secondly, you need to be hydrating properly. 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. For extra hydration, add electrolytes into your water as well. Things like coconut water or Himalayan salt can help with that. And the reason I say Himalayan salt and Celtic sea salt are beneficial for you. They keep you hydrated. Bad salt like table salt and the salt that you're going to be getting in your processed foods is what is going to cause your bloat. Don't get the two mixed up. Thirdly, avoid all inflammatory foods. Refined sugars, dairy, fried items all trigger inflammation, making your face appear swollen. Things like berries, turmeric, ginger, and leafy greens are all going to help debloat your face. And if you want some debloating superfoods, here's 4 you should stick to. Cucumber, a natural diuretic. Pineapple, it contains bromelain, which is going to reduce your inflammation. Watermelon, it's extremely hydrating and flushes out excess sodium. And parsley and dandelion greens, they help with natural detoxification. Okay, so what lifestyle habits can you change so that you're more debloated more frequently? Get enough sleep. Poor sleep leads to puffiness around the eyes and cheeks. Limit your alcohol consumption because alcohol dehydrates your body. And exercise regularly. Physical activity boosts your circulation and also reduces your water retention. Okay, so let's talk about lymphatic drainage for facial debloat. Okay, so the first way is facial massaging. A lymphatic massage stimulates fluid drainage and reduces your puffiness. How do you do it? You use your fingertips or a jade roller to massage your face in upwards and outwards motions. You always start at the center of your face and you move outwards towards your ears. Secondly is a gua sha. Looks like this, a traditional tool that's been used for thousands of years. It helps reduce your circulation and fluid buildup, and you use it by using an oil or a facial moisturizer so that the gua sha can glide over your skin, and you gently scrape the gua sha along your jawline, cheeks, and forehead. Third, we have the neck massage. Lymphatic drainage begins in the neck. So clearing this area is essential, and the way you do it is you just massage downwards along the sides of your neck. This is going to encourage lymph flow. Also, consider cold therapy. This is a quick fix for puffiness. Ideal if you have a photo shoot or you're going out and you find yourself bloated. A cold water splash, spoons under the eyes that have been chilling in the freezer, or even ice rollers and ice cubes themselves to give you that temporary quick fix to look slimmer and less bloated. But I often see people making mistakes when it comes to facial debloat, so here are the mistakes you need to avoid. Overhydrating. Drinking excessive water without enough electrolytes can cause internal imbalances and actually worsen your bloating. Another one is skipping meals. Fasting for too long can disrupt your hormones, and disrupting your hormones can lead to more fluid retention. Another one is sleeping flat. Lying completely flat at night can cause fluid to pool in your face, meaning that when you wake up, you will look way fatter than you actually are just because the fluid has traveled there as you've been lying perfectly parallel to your bed. And another mistake is relying on crash diets, because rapid weight loss can cause temporary bloating and swelling as your body is adjusting. So if you want long-term solutions for a slimmer face, maintain a healthy, low body fat percentage. A balanced diet, regular exercise, high intensity interval training, and a calorie deficit is the only way you're gonna get there. Also, improve your gut health. If you haven't already seen a video on that, I highly recommend checking it out. And manage your stress. Practice mindfulness, yoga, meditation, gratitude. Don't knock it until you try it. This is because chronic stress increases your cortisol levels, leading to water retention and bloating. Facial debloating can take place over a matter of days and weeks. So by making these small adjustments to your diet and your lifestyle and your training, you can reveal a slimmer, more defined face that is hiding under all that fluid retention. But remember, this is not just a quick fix. It's about creating sustainable habits for long-term health. Best of luck, gang. Ditching shampoo does not mean that your hair has to look or smell bad. In fact, many shampoos strip your hair of its natural oils on purpose. This means that you are caught in a buying loop where you think, oh, I've just used this shampoo, now my hair's really dry, now it needs more. No, it doesn't. Here is how you can cut it out completely. In this video, I will teach you exactly how you can maintain a fresh, clean look with no shampoo. From natural alternatives like eggs, all the way to things like the benefits of the sea. I'm going to cover everything that you need to know so that you can embrace a no shampoo lifestyle. Firstly, let's talk about why you would even skip shampoo in the first place. Firstly, it's always better to avoid harsh chemicals where you can. Most shampoos contain something called sulfates, which strip your hair of its natural oils. This often leads to dryness and irritation. And overwashing actually makes your scalp produce more oil. Skipping shampoo can be a great way to help your scalp regulate itself naturally. Also, you will get healthier hair over time if you ditch the products. Shampoo-free routines allow your hair to maintain all of its natural moisture, and in the long run will reduce a lot of frizz and breakage. So let's talk about some natural alternatives first to shampoo. Eggs. I know you've seen me talk about eggs and it sounds crazy. So let's talk about why it works. Eggs are rich in proteins and nutrients that strengthen your hair follicles. All you need to do is whisk 1 or 2 eggs together in a bowl and apply that to damp hair while you're in the shower. You let it sit for 5 minutes, then you rinse it with cool water. It needs to be cool because you do not want to cook the egg while it's in your hair. It's weird, I know, just try it. You'll most likely find that your hair feels great after doing it. Next substitute is aloe vera. Aloe vera gently cleanses your hair while also hydrating your scalp. What you want to do is apply a fresh aloe vera gel to your hair and scalp, leave it on for 10 minutes and then rinse it thoroughly, same as the egg. You can also consider herbal rinses. Herbs like chamomile, rosemary, or even nettle nourish your hair while giving it a natural scent. If you want to do this, brew a strong tea using any of the things that I've just mentioned. Let it cool and use it as a rinse after washing. Now, let's talk about the benefits of the sea and your hair because there are huge ones. If you are lucky enough to live by the ocean or have access to salt water, the sea can be an incredible tool for keeping your hair clean and very healthy. First reason being natural oil control. Salt water absorbs excess oil in your scalp, making it extremely effective for people that struggle with oiliness. Secondly, it also gives you a gentle exfoliation. The salt in seawater, when it dries, will exfoliate your scalp, removing it of any dead cells. Not only does it have those benefits, but it also adds great texture. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The sea is the best thing you can put in your hair, especially if you have a straight hair type like mine. The difference when you go in the sea versus use a product is absolutely night and day. It adds so much volume and texture to your hair, giving it that awesome, effortless, beachy look. Now, if you don't live near the ocean, but you do live somewhere sunny, you're in luck. You can actually create your own sea salt rinse. Mix 1 tablespoon of sea salt with a cup of warm water and use it to rinse your hair thoroughly. But this is only really applicable if you live somewhere very sunny, and that is because the texture from sea salt actually comes from it drying in the sun. You find that if you don't let it dry in the sun, you will get the health benefits of having sea salt in your hair, but you will not get that added texture that you're looking for that you get so effortlessly on a beach day. Another question that gets asked a lot is how do you maintain healthy, nice smelling hair on no shampoo? Even without shampoo, you can keep your hair fresh and clean. Here's how. Firstly is rinse it daily. Use warm water and scrub your scalp thoroughly with your fingertips every single time you're in the shower. This is to loosen all of the dirt and oil that is potentially sitting on your scalp. Also consider using essential oils. Oils like tea tree or lavender can make it smell so good and you don't need any products to clean it. Also, if you brush your hair more regularly, it's going to smell better. Ideally, use something like a ball bristle brush or something that is natural. It's going to distribute your natural oils from the roots to the tips, keeping your hair moisturized and healthy too. Now, it's important when you do no shampoo to stay hydrated. Hydration is super important for healthy hair, as it is for literally everything in Looksmaxxing. If you are Looksmaxxing and you are not drinking 2 to 3 liters of water every single day, what the hell are you doing? Not only do you want to stay hydrated, you want to eat a diet that is rich in zinc, biotin, and omega-3s too. That's going to do the most to give you the healthiest hair that you can possibly get from the inside out. When you stop using shampoo, your hair is going to go through a transition stage. This is when it's going to get a lot more oily than it naturally would once you're adjusted. So what do? The first few weeks, your hair is going to feel a lot oilier, but this will improve as your scalp finds its natural balance. Stick with it and be patient. Your scalp needs time to reset. Using natural rinses and scrubbing it throughout this process with warm water is going to help you greatly and can help manage this oiliness. So let me know in the chat if you have tried going shampoo free. Let me know if you have any questions as always, and best of luck with your no shampoo journeys. Peace out. All right, let's talk about bone smashing. It is one of the most talked about, yet most dangerous practices in all of Looksmaxxing. It is a so-called hack for the pursuit of better facial aesthetics. And the idea is repeatedly hitting your bones with a hard object to stimulate bone growth, supposedly supported by something called Wolf's Law. But here is the reality. Bone smashing does not work the way you think. And Wolf's Law has been completely misunderstood and misapplied in this context by the TikTok community. Surprise. In this video, I'm going to break down why it's not only outright ineffective, but also harmful. I'm going to expose all of the risks and the long-term consequences that you could face from doing it. Okay, so what does it claim to do? Bone smashing hinges on the idea that if you repeatedly hit your face with something hard, it creates microfractures on the bones, leading the bone to grow back thicker and stronger, and therefore more attractive in some cases, especially if it's on your zygomatics. This belief is tied to something called Wolf's Law. But Wolf's Law explains that bones adapt to loads of pressure placed on them over time. It's why weightlifters develop denser bones over time after lifting heavy weights, or why astronauts lose bone density when they have no external pressures like gravity on them. But here's the key misunderstanding. Wolf's Law applies to slow and controlled, consistent changes of pressure on the bones. Controlled, consistent, and functional loads, not random trauma or blunt force. So here's exactly why Wolf's Law doesn't support bone smashing. Let's talk about controlled stress versus trauma. Wolf's Law describes the body's adaptation to controlled functional stress over time. Walking, lifting weights, or even things like orthodontic adjustments. Bone smashing creates uncontrolled, chaotic trauma. Instead of stimulating healthy adaptation, it risks fractures, inflammation, and improper healing. Also, microfractures do not heal uniformly. The human body can't control exactly how bones are going to react from trauma. So often the result of bone smashing is a disorganized buildup in bone tissue that comes in various ways. This buildup of bone tissue is something called a callus, and it is what leads to uneven or misshapen features, not the sharp, defined chisel look that you're trying to get. Also, bone smashing specifically focuses on facial bones, not weight-bearing bones like your femur. Facial bones aren't designed to withstand repeated impact, and the results won't align with the principle of Wolff's law of adaptation. Not only that, your skin and soft tissue are not going to benefit from smashing your face in, because the skin, cartilage, and soft tissues of your face will sustain permanent damage, including sagging and scarring and even discoloration. No amount of bone adaptation is going to outweigh that con. And also, bone smashing comes with a load of risks. Permanent bone deformities, permanent nerve damage, accelerated aging, a risk of infection, a huge psychological toll which is documented time and time again. I mean, if you have ever met someone who bone smashes, you can quite clearly see what rabbit hole they've been led down. You can tell that their road for improving themselves has turned into a project of self-hatred. So I know what a lot of you thinking: if bone smashing isn't the answer, then what is? Here are the safe methods that you should be focusing on to improve your facial aesthetics. Orthotropics, proper tongue posture, neck exercises, and mewing can help guide your facial bones as you develop. Weight loss and fitness, skincare and collagen support, everything to do with joint suture theory and bone manipulation in that sense, chewing exercises and jaw development, and myofunctional therapy. So no, bone smashing doesn't work, and it's not because of Wolff's law, but because it fundamentally misunderstands how the body adapts to stress. The risks far outweigh the supposed benefits, and the long-term consequences can be completely irreversible. So cut it out, stay safe. Remember that this is a journey of self-improvement which should be rooted in self-love. In other words, you don't need to harm yourself in any way to improve. Much love, gang. Let me know if you have any questions. Have you ever wondered why some people grow taller and others don't reach their full height potential? While genetics play a big role, there are certain things that you can do to ensure that you reach your maximum genetic potential. For example, your hormones have a huge impact on how tall you end up, especially in your developing years. Today, I'm going to be talking about hormone optimization for height. I'm going to break down the science of exactly how your hormones affect growth, and I'll be sharing practical strategies through diet, exercise, and lifestyle changes to help maximize your genetic potential, keeping you as tall as you can possibly be. Let's get started. All right, let's start with the basics. Your height is primarily determined by the amount of growth in your growth plates of your bones. These plates are areas of cartilage that allow your bones to lengthen during your growth years, which typically last until your late teens or your early 20s. Growth plates are directly influenced by the following: human growth hormone, insulin growth factor 1, your testosterone levels, and your estrogen and your cortisol. Human growth hormone is the key hormone for driving bone growth, produced in the pituitary gland. Insulin growth factor 1 works with HGH, and it's going to promote better bone and muscle development. The test and estrogen levels are going to be what fuels the growth spurts during puberty, but they can also signal the closure of your growth plates if their levels are too high, which will end your height growth. You should know that chronic stress levels like cortisol can completely suppress the growth hormone, ultimately slowing down your growth. Before we get into the techniques, let's talk about when they'll actually be most effective. Hormone optimization for height will be most effective in your childhood and adolescence. This is the prime period for growth because all of your growth plates are completely open, allowing your bones to lengthen as much as they can. In ages 12 to 18 or puberty, your body produces the most amount of HGH. This is what drives the growth spurts. So this is when optimizing your hormones can make the biggest difference. Around 18 to 21 is typically when most people's growth plates begin to close and their growth begins to slow down. But techniques can still improve overall health and bone density. So in other words, if your growth plates are closed, this won't increase your height, but it will help your overall bone health. So let's get into some actionable strategies about how you can actually apply this. Firstly, you want to prioritize good sleep. Your body releases the most HGH during sleep, so you should be aiming for about 8 to 10 hours of quality sleep every single night. And obviously stick to a regular sleep schedule and avoid screens before bed for the best results. Next, you want to follow a height-friendly diet. So what do I mean when I say that? I'm talking about protein-rich foods, eggs, chicken, fish, vegetables. All of those have amino acids that are going to support bone growth. Calcium and vitamin D These nutrients found in dairy and leafy greens and sunlight are going to strengthen your bones and promote HGH production. Zinc and magnesium, these are essential for hormone balance. Eat nuts, seeds, and whole grains. And lastly, healthy fats, things like avocados, nuts, oil, they are all going to do wonders here. You also want to be engaging in growth stimulating exercises. High intensity interval training is a perfect example. Short bursts of intense exercise can skyrocket your HGH production. So sprints, weighted sprints, bodyweight circuits, they're all wonderful. When you're doing strength training, it's better to focus on compound movements like bench and squat and deadlift. But if you are in your early teens, avoid any heavy loads of this as you are more prone to injury. Make sure you are avoiding stimulants and processed foods. Too much caffeine and a high sugar diet can interfere with hormone production and ultimately slow your growth. This one might come as a surprise due to the caffeine, but it's important to remember, just like all things you consume, it is appropriate in the correct moderation. Doesn't mean you need to ban it, just means you need to not overload it. And also you need to manage your stress. Like I said earlier, you want to decrease that cortisol as it can completely interfere with the growing process. So what can you actually expect from doing all of this and in what timeframes? If you are under 18 and you have followed all of these practices, you can rest assured that you are a couple inches taller than if you hadn't. Obviously, this will vary for everyone. We all have different genetic limiting factors, which is a huge part of height. So understand that there's no real metric to say how much you can grow and how much you can't grow. But the way I see it, the time is going to pass anyway, and all of these methods will help your health. And if you have prioritized your health in the ways that I have just mentioned, you will be as tall as you naturally can. If you're in puberty and you're applying these practices, you are going to notice that your growth spurts are a lot more aggressive. They're going to be amplified, which means that you're going to have a noticeable increase in height. And if you are doing these practices post growth plate closure, so around 21 plus, you're not going to be taller. You are just going to have overall better health and healthier bones. So to keep it simple, here are the mistakes that you want to avoid. Do not neglect your sleep. Don't overtrain, because too much intense exercise without recovery can raise your cortisol. Do not ignore the nutrition, and don't expect to get too much taller once your growth plates are closed. The amount of height that you are going to gain through other practices, like I'll mention, like posture correction, are not actually physically getting taller. They are just correcting habits and muscular issues that were compressing you. So make sure you're applying all of these strategies consistently. And as always, let me know if you have any questions. Much love, gang. Fresh breath isn't just about hygiene. It's a huge part of your attractiveness, and it changes how other people will perceive you. In this video, I'll cover every single thing you need to achieve constant fresh breath. Firstly, you gotta understand that having fresh breath is not just about avoiding awkward moments. It signals cleanliness, confidence, and good health. Bad breath, or halitosis, is often caused by bacteria buildup. By mastering your oral hygiene routine, you can make sure your breath stays fresh all day, every day. So let's talk about the foundations of having fresh breath. Firstly, brush your teeth and do it right. The leading cause of your bad breath will be food particles stuck in between and on your teeth. So brush twice a day, 2 minutes at a time, and don't forget to brush the inner surfaces of your teeth and your whole tongue. More on that in a sec. So the next key to having fresh breath all the time is to brush or scrape your tongue. You need to understand that your tongue is a breeding ground for odor-causing bacteria. So every single time you brush your teeth, you need to be using a tongue scraper. Make sure you do it gently, make sure you get all the way back, and after you do it, if it's your first time, you are going to be in shock with how much comes off your tongue. You should be doing this every single time you brush your teeth. And next, you need to be flossing daily. Food particles that are stuck between your teeth that sometimes you can't even see can rot and give you bad breath. Use dental floss or floss picks, again, every single time. These should just be staples in your routine that never change. Okay, so how do you boost your oral hygiene beyond brushing? First is mouthwash. Mouthwash kills the bacteria, freshens breath, and reaches all the places that your toothbrush can't. Try and opt for alcohol-free ones to avoid dryness. If you can, look for mouthwashes with chlorhexidine or zinc compounds. When it has these components, it's going to ensure that it has the most odor control. When you use it after you brush your teeth or just after any meal. Another way to boost it is constantly chew fresh, sugar-free gum or sugar-free mints. Not only will this give you fresh breath because of the flavor from it, but it will actually stimulate saliva production, which is needed to wash away bacteria and neutralize any acids in your mouth. If you can, look for gum with xylitol. It fights cavities as well as freshening your breath. And of course, throughout the day, you need to stay hydrated. Once again, 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. When you're eating for fresh breath, eat crunchy fruits and vegetables. Fruits like apples, carrots, celery, they all naturally freshen your breath and reduce the odor. And if you are on a date or you're seeing someone important, going to a business meeting, you want to avoid breath killers when you're out in public. I'm talking about garlics and onions, any sugary snacks, and any dairy. all of these things are going to make your breath worse off immediately. The dental tools to be able to boost your hygiene, you should be using an electric toothbrush. It removes plaque way more effectively than a manual toothbrush. If you haven't made the switch already, do so. You can also try a water flosser. It's really good at cleaning hard to reach areas in your mouth. Try it out if you haven't, and make sure that you are replacing your toothbrush regularly, at least every 3 months. Old toothbrushes harbor bacteria, and over time they can just do more harm than good when you use them. Now, something you should know, your body produces less saliva while you sleep, which is why you may wake up with morning breath. So what can you do to make your breath smell better every time you wake up? Obviously, brush and floss before bed, but actually you should be mewing in your sleep too. This is going to prevent your mouth from drying out. And if you rinse with salt water before bed, that will act as a natural antibacterial rinse and completely reduce all the odors that may appear overnight. Try it out, see how you feel, and wake up with some fresh breath. Fresh breath is a game changer. It is one of the foundations of confidence, hygiene, and attractiveness, especially when you're out in public talking to people. They will remember you as the guy that smelled so good when they were talking to you. If following these tips and building the right habits that are sustainable and maintainable over time, you can maintain constant fresh breath and a completely radiant smile. Best of luck, gang. Your eye bags can make you look tired, stressed, and older than you are. There are a multitude of different types of eye bags, each with their own cause and treatment. Let's break all of them down so you can assess which ones you have and how you can get rid of them for good. All right, so let's first start by saying, why do we get eye bags? Well, they all form for different reasons, but usually they're caused by fluid retention, fat displacement, or thinning skin under your eyes. To treat them effectively, you need to understand what is causing yours. So here are the main types of eye bags and exactly what you need to do to get rid of them. First one is temporary puffiness. Looks like this. The causes of this can be fluid retention, allergies, a lack of sleep, and it gives that puffy, swollen look under the eyes. Second type of eye bag looks like this. These are fat-related eye bags. This can just be to do with how old you are, but it can also be genetic. When you age, the muscles around your eyes can just get weaker, causing fat to look like it's shifted forward. And your genetics may mean that your eye bags are just more predisposed to having fat pads there. Or for some people, your genetics can just make it so that you're more predisposed to having fat deposits under your eyes. The third type of eye bag, dark eye bags, like this. These can be from thinning skin, which is from a loss of collagen and elastin. It can be to do with your pigmentation. This can either just be your genetics or too much sun exposure. Or it can be to do with hollowing, which is volume loss under your eyes, creating a shadowed effect. And the fourth type of eye bag, which is your lifestyle-driven eye bag. This can be caused by anything from stress and poor sleep, dehydration, or excessive screen time. So how do you treat each type of eye bag? Firstly, treating temporary puffiness. If we're talking long term, you need to reduce the amount of sodium in your diet as a whole. Avoid salty foods, especially in the evening. Hydrate, drink plenty of water, 2 to 3 liters every single day to flush out any excess sodium in your system. And sleep elevated. If you haven't tried it, try sleeping with another pillow on top of your other one so that your head is more propped up to reduce fluid pooling overnight. Quick fixes for this type of eye bag are cold compresses, chilled spoons, cucumber slices, you know the drill, lymphatic drainage massages. You gently massage under your eyes with your moisturizer in the morning or evening in a circular motion. You promote fluid drainage in your skin. And you can also try caffeine-infused eye creams. Caffeine constricts blood vessels and reduces puffiness. Okay, how do you treat fat-related eye bags? Let's talk about long-term solutions. Topical retinoids. These are going to stimulate collagen production and improve your skin's elasticity. You've got skin tightening treatments. Procedures like radiofrequency or ultrasound therapy can tighten the loose skin around your eyes. Okay, let's talk about what doesn't work. Quick fixes like cold compress that is able to treat the temporary puffiness won't work so well here. You may reduce the swelling, but you're not addressing the root cause, which is the fat pads under your eyes. Okay, how do you treat dark eye bags? To treat the thinning skin that may be causing your dark eye bags, you can try vitamin C serums, hyaluronic acid, and retinol creams. All of these are going to brighten your skin and stimulate collagen production and overall give you a better appearance. To treat the pigmentation that might be causing your eye bags, make sure when you're in the sun, you're using sunscreen. Try and use one that doesn't have any endocrine disruptors in it. Always go for natural and organic when you can. You can also use brightening agents in your face products. Look for creams with niacinamide or kojic acid because these are going to reduce the discoloration in your skin. And to address the hollowing that might be causing these dark eye bags, the main way to target this is going to be through your diet. Specifically, you want to eat foods that are rich in vitamin K, like spinach or kale. These are going to improve the blood circulation around this area and hopefully reduce that dark appearance. Okay, how do you treat lifestyle-driven eye bags? Firstly, aim for better sleep. 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every single night. The more consistent of a schedule you maintain, the better your circadian rhythm will be. And ideally, avoid screens 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed. Secondly, you need to be controlling your stress management. Try and incorporate mindfulness practices like yoga, meditation, or breath work. The goal here is to reduce the amount of stress you have in your life. You may think it's not for you, but I highly recommend you try it before you knock it. Once again, hydrate. Drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. And if you are going to be on your screen a lot through the day, whether it's in your job or at school, you can't avoid it, go for the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds, because this is going to reduce your eye strain. I have some general tips for a more holistic approach on how to decrease your eye bags. In your skincare routine, use a gentle cleanser to begin. Apply moisturizing eye creams, ideally twice a day to keep the area hydrated. And always pat the products into your skin, do not rub them. The reason for this is because the area of skin underneath your eyes is very, very delicate. Secondly, sun care protection. If you struggle with eye bags, try and wear a broad spectrum sunscreen daily. And also, if you're out directly in the sun, you're not tanning, wear some sunglasses. It'll help. Thirdly, focus on your healthy diet. Focus on foods that are rich in antioxidants and collagen-boosting nutrients, as well as your omega-3 fatty acids. And lastly, avoid any harmful habits like smoking or drinking. Smoking accelerates your collagen breakdown, and alcohol severely dehydrates the skin. Smoking is going to worsen your pigmentation, and the drinking is going to exacerbate your puffiness. Treating eye bags is not an overnight process, but with consistency, your temporary puffiness, dark circles, or fat-related bags can all be diminished. Eye bags do not have to be a permanent part of your look. As always, consistency is going to take you far. Best of luck, gang. How exactly are you going to master your insulin levels and how and when to spike them? This is the video for that. Insulin is one of the most powerful hormones in your whole body. It does not just control your blood sugar. It can directly affect how you look and how you feel. Let's break down the science behind insulin, what happens when it's out of balance, and how to master it for peak health and peak appearance. Okay, so what is insulin and why does it even matter? Insulin is a hormone produced by your pancreas that helps you regulate your blood sugar levels. When you eat, especially carbohydrates, your body releases insulin to shuttle glucose from your bloodstream into your cells for energy or storage. It provides your cells with energy. It works with other hormones like IGF-1, like I've touched on before, to stimulate protein synthesis. It signals to your body to store excess glucose as fat, and it impacts your collagen production and your skin elasticity, basically how youthful you look. When it's well regulated, your body thrives. But when it's out of balance, too high or too low, it can lead to health issues and noticeable changes in your appearance. So what happens when it's out of balance? Let's talk about too much insulin. Constantly elevated insulin levels, most likely from eating carbs too frequently, can lead to weight gain, inflammation, skin issues, and energy crashes. Whereas too little insulin can lead to things like chronic fatigue, difficulty losing fat, increased appetite, and accelerated aging. So how does insulin affect your face? The signs of insulin face are puffiness and swelling, breakouts in oily skin, wrinkles and sagging skin, and dark patches or skin tags. You'll notice it's similar to cortisol. So how do you master your morning insulin spike? Like cortisol, insulin has a natural rhythm that can either set you up or derail you for the day. Let's talk about why morning nutrition matters with facial aesthetics. Eating refined carbs or sugars first thing in the morning can cause a massive insulin spike, leading to energy crashes and fat storage. So pairing your carbs with protein and healthy fats can smooth out your insulin response and keep you energized. Let's talk about the problem with skipping breakfast. If you delay eating too long after waking up, your body's blood sugar drops, triggers a stress response and cortisol release. This can then lead to overeating and poor food choices later in the day and affects your mental. Instead, start your day with a balanced, nutrient-dense meal. Protein, like eggs or Greek yogurt, healthy fats like avocados or nuts, and complex carbs like sweet potatoes or oats. This combination in the morning is going to keep your insulin steady. So how do you control your insulin throughout the day? To sum it up, prioritize low glycemic foods like leafy greens or berries or quinoa. Add fiber to every single meal. Fiber slows down digestion and sugar absorption, reducing your insulin spikes. For example, instead of just having fruit, have fruit and nuts, or fruit and Greek yogurt. Combine your macronutrients. Pair your carbs with protein and fats. That way there, your insulin stays steady and doesn't spike. And lastly, time your carbs strategically. If you save your carbs for after a workout, when your body is more insulin sensitive, this ensures that the glucose you've just eaten is being used for muscle repair. Straight to the bicep. So if you're wondering when to spike your insulin, you should be spiking it post-workout. If you're trying to lower your insulin for fat loss and health, this is how. Lowering insulin levels when they're not needed is critical for weight loss, especially fat loss. It's also critical for hormonal balance and your overall health. Here's how you do that. You can intermittent fast, which is just having a fasting window in the day. For example, you don't eat for a specific 12 hours. Strength training. Avoid late night snacking, sleep well, and cut out your refined sugar and carbs. Balanced insulin levels will contribute to a leaner, healthier appearance of your face. When they're balanced, you can tackle fat loss, clearer skin, youthful skin, and more defined features. So to sum it up and recap, eat whole foods, move after your meals, hydrate throughout the day, strength train regularly, and manage your stress. Insulin is not just about blood sugar, it's about how you feel, perform, and look. By mastering your insulin levels, you can unlock better energy, clearer skin, and a leaner, shredded physique. Best of luck. This is covering exactly how you're going to train your hyoid bone and how to get that Chad jawline that you want. A strong jawline can completely transform your look. It can take a guy from a 6 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. The secret to enhancing it is not just in training the masseter and getting lean. You need to train your hyoid. What is the hyoid bone? It's a small, U-shaped bone located in your throat, just under your jawline. It's completely unique because it's not actually connected to any other bone in your body. Instead, it is completely suspended by muscles and ligaments. Okay, so why is it important in jaw development? The hyoid supports your tongue and plays a crucial role when you're swallowing, speaking, and breathing. Its position completely influences the appearance of your jawline and neck. A low-set hyoid bone like here, even on a lean guy, can make him look like he's got a terrible double chin and hide all of his jaw gains. Whereas a high-set hyoid bone makes all the difference. When properly trained, the muscles around the hyoid can lift and tighten your neck area, making your jawline appear sharper and your overall face more attractive. Okay, so why would you train your hyoid other than aesthetics? Obviously beauty is great, but beauty is inherently linked to your health. The actual main benefits you get from training your hyoid are not just aesthetics, it's functionality and posture. So here's what happens when you focus on these muscles. A sharper jawline. Strengthening the muscles lift your hyoid bone. Better posture. A weak hyoid can contribute to more forward head posture, making your head and face look compressed, and it makes your jaw look recessed. You get an improved neck profile, it tightens the loose skin around your throat. Okay, so let's dive into the science of hyoid training. To train the hyoid, you have to target the muscles that connect to it. The suprahyoid muscles, these lift the hyoid bone. The infrahyoid muscles, these stabilize the hyoid bone and improve your neck posture. And the platysma. This is a superficial muscle in the neck that influences your skin tightness and your skin tone. So let's get into the exercises. First one is tongue pressing. Sit or stand upright with your mouth closed. Press your tongue firmly against the palate of your mouth. Hold it for 10 seconds. You should feel a burn. Maximum effort. Release that and then repeat that 10 times. McKinsey chin tucks. Again, sit or stand with a neutral spine. Keep your eyes forward, your shoulders back, your chest up, and try and make as many double chins as you possibly can. It's not about curling your head down like this, it's about bringing it back like this. There's going to be a lot of tension in that one. It's difficult at first, but you'll get used to it, and it completely activates the infrahyoid muscles. Jawline lifts through swallowing. Tilt your head slightly back and look towards the ceiling. You should feel some stretching here in your neck muscles. Press your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and then try and swallow. Try and perform 10 slow repetitions, keeping that tension there as you swallow. This one's a killer. Sit upright and hum at a low pitch. Looks stupid, I know. You should feel resistance right here with the muscles under your jaw. Do it for 10 to 15 seconds, rest, and repeat that 5 more times. This activates deep muscles and the vocal muscles all around the hyoid, which is going to continue to enhance your jawline appearance. And obviously, mewing and hard mewing. Basically, we all know what this is. It does work. It completely correlates with joint suture theory. It's going to apply more pressure to your palate, which over time is going to expand your maxilla and improve your forward growth. You want to have all of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, just behind your front incisors, with your teeth softly touching. You'll know if you're doing it right because you can see side on the effects of mewing. Hopefully that was clear enough. Let's talk about the role of posture in hyoid training because it is extremely significant. Bad posture can undo all of your hard work. Looking good is health. Remember that. If your head is constantly tilted forward, like this, the hyoids and the surrounding muscles weaken. To correct this, stand tall. Be conscious of keeping your ears in line with your shoulders and your chin parallel to the floor. And if you can, when you're at the gym, train neck curls. Get to the edge of the bench. You don't need weights if you're doing it right. There's enough resistance. It is not about curling like this. It is about curling like this. Trying to get as many double chins as you possibly can. And then NPR. NPR needs a little bit more attention, so I'll make a separate video on that. Consistent hyoid training with good posture can give you significant results in just 4 to 6 weeks. Give it your all, Don't push yourself too hard if you feel too much strain, and watch the progress come in. To amplify your results and making sure you're getting the most gains that you possibly can, hydrate, have a healthy diet, use a gua sha or a roller to give you some lymphatic drainage massages. I'll also have another video on that, and make sure you're getting good sleep too. By consistently training these muscles, you'll not only enhance your jawline, but also improve your posture and confidence. Remember, every single small habit you build contributes to a stronger, more defined you. So start training it today, keep this community updated with your progress, and watch the results come in. Good luck. The amount of stress you have is completely changing your face. Cortisol, the stress hormone, but it's not just that, it completely affects the way you look. In this video, let's break down what happens when cortisol goes unchecked, how it leads to what is known as cortisol face, and then how to take control and feel your best. Firstly, what is cortisol and why does it matter? It's a hormone released by your adrenal glands in response to stress or low blood sugar. It plays a vital role in energy regulation, focus and alertness, inflammation control, and sleep-wake cycle. Facially aesthetic problems arise when cortisol is mismanaged, too high for too long or too low when you need it. Okay, so what do I mean when I say cortisol face? I'm talking about puffiness and swelling. It leads to a bloated or puffy appearance, especially around your cheeks. That might be the root cause of your facial bloat. It can cause skin damage. Chronically elevated cortisol breaks down collagen and elastin, leading to wrinkles, sagging skin, or just dull and tired skin in general. Another effect of cortisol face is fat redistribution. Excess cortisol actually encourages fat stores around your face, creating a rounded or moon face-like appearance. It also might be responsible for your acne. Increased cortisol triggers your oil production and your inflammation, which causes breakouts. And lastly, it can give you eye bags. Poor sleep due to cortisol disruption can lead to the dark circles that you're struggling to get rid of. Luckily, these effects are not permanent. By managing your cortisol, you can fix everything I just mentioned. So let's talk about how cortisol is going to affect your morning routine. Your cortisol is supposed to spike naturally in the morning. This is the cortisol awakening response, or CAR. However, certain habits can block this critical process. Let's talk about it. Why is morning sunlight essential? Your eyes need exposure to photons from natural sunlight to trigger cortisol release. Without this spike, you'll feel groggy, unproductive, and your hormone cycle will be completely thrown off. If you wake up in a dark room and immediately go to your phone or computer, your cortisol does not spike properly. Screens don't provide anywhere near the full spectrum of light needed to activate this response. Instead, when you wake up, step outside immediately. Spend 5 to 10 minutes in natural sunlight. I don't care if it's cloudy, UV and photons go through clouds. Ground in the morning. Not only does grounding decrease inflammation, but walking barefoot on grass can further reduce your stress and bring about more hormone balance. Real ones know I'm big on grounding. And delay your screen time until later on in the day. Avoid all screens until you've had your natural exposures to sunlight. This ensures that your cortisol spikes optimally at the right time. When your cortisol or stress remains elevated, it disrupts the key processes that keeps your face looking healthy. Cortisol breaks down collagen. This leads to fine lines, wrinkles, and sagging skin. It causes redness, puffiness, and even an uneven skin tone. It encourages fat deposits around the cheeks and neck, making your jawline far less visible. And high cortisol stimulates your sebaceous glands, causing breakouts. That's all for too much cortisol. On the flip side, too little cortisol makes you look extremely tired. Your face looks fatigued, you have that pale, lifeless skin, and your skin actually becomes slower to heal and more prone to damage. So how exactly do you master your cortisol? Well, firstly, you gotta know when to spike it. Cortisol is useful in short bursts. Firstly, morning sunlight, like we talked about. Kickstart with a natural cortisol spike to feel energized. The second time when you want to spike it is before your workouts. Cortisol provides glucose for intense exercise. Cold showers or caffeine before training can give this effect. Equally important is knowing how to lower your cortisol for recovery and regeneration. Deep breathing and meditation, gentle exercise, try cool down. Sleep, prioritize quality sleep as always. And balanced nutrition. Eliminate your chronic stress in your life, reduce your screen time, stay hydrated, and limit the amount of stimulants you have. For example, too much caffeine. Stick to everything in moderate amounts. If you take all of the effects to reverse cortisol face, you're going to notice fat loss, skin repair, and improved definition and lineation all across your face, which is the desired goal here. So cortisol is not your enemy, it's a tool, and by understanding how it works and how to manage it, it can boost your energy, enhance your looks, and you'll feel better in every aspect of your life. Best of luck, Ken. This is how to find the perfect hairstyle for your face shape. Your hairstyle plays a massive role in framing your face and highlighting your best features. Picking the wrong cut can throw off your proportions, while the right one can extremely enhance them. In this video, we're diving into a deep face shape analysis and exactly how you can assess what your own is and how you can learn how to match it to your hairstyle. Before you can pick any right hairstyle, you need to understand what your own one is. So here's the 6 main types. Oval. This is balanced proportions and it's slightly longer than it is wide. Round. You have equal width and height of your face with soft round edges. Square. This is for people with equal proportions and a strong jawline. Diamond. You have broad cheekbones but a narrow jaw and a narrow forehead. Then you've got the heart shape. You have a wider forehead, wide cheekbones, but a narrow pointed chin. If you want to know how you can know your own face shape, look straight into a mirror and pull your hair back. Notice which part of your face is the widest and check if your jawline is rounded or more angular. Then compare your face's length to its width. That's it. Now let's get into the science behind choosing a hairstyle. Your hairstyle should create balance, harmony. The goal is to highlight your best features while softening or balancing any disproportionate areas. For example, a slightly longer face benefits from more width. A rounder face would benefit from more height. A square, more angular face might benefit from a softer cut with more texture. So here's the guide on what cut to get for what face shape you have. If you have an oval face, you can basically get any cut. The only thing I would say is avoid a heavy fringe. It can make your face look shorter. A round face, you're going to want to add height to your hair and take hair away from the sides. Fades and undercuts are going to help elongate your face. Avoid anything that's round. Buzz cuts, bowl cuts, get it gone. It's going to make you look worse. If you have a square face, textured crops, side parts, or long layers to soften strong angles, you should be avoiding flat or boxy styles. They're going to make your face appear even more square. If you have more of a rectangular or an oblong face, you want to try and get volume on the sides. Myself, my face is longer. That's why I keep all this volume here. And so far it's been the look with the highest appeal. You should try and avoid overly long styles. I'm talking really long. They're going to make your face look longer than it is. If you have a diamond face, add width to your narrower areas. If your jaw comes in a lot here, have some volume in the back that comes out from a front profile. If it's narrower up here, have more width here. The goal with all of these is to create balance. If you have a heart-shaped face, you want to avoid really short cuts. They're going to emphasize your forehead. And you want to opt for something that has more volume in your lower third. Again, volume in the back. Your styles should change depending on what type of hair type you have. If you have straight hair, it's best for structured, slick back styles or pompadours. If you have wavy hair, get a texture cut to emphasize those curls and shagginess. That's more of the vibe I'm on. If you have curly hair, it's best suited to shorter sides with more volume on the top. And if you have coily hair, it works well with cropped or tightly shaped styles. Your hairline and growth pattern matters too. If you have a receding hairline, go for cuts that are textured and draw attention away from your widow's peak. If you have a natural widow's peak, you can do two things. You can try and hide it completely by having a fringe or curtains, or you can completely own it and go for a hairstyle like this, because as you can see, it can look very masculine. If you are still unsure about your face shape, start with a very versatile cut, like a medium fade or just a regular layered cut, and experiment with subtle changes, get second opinions, ask your friends and family. You're gonna find what works for you. Ultimately, your hairstyle is a reflection of your personality. While your face analysis helps, confidence is going to be what makes any look work. I promise you, inner light is not cope. So experiment, find what feels right, and rock it with pride. With the knowledge from this video, you're equipped to own your own style. Shredding or lowering your body fat is all about achieving a lean, defined look. But if you do it wrong, it can make your face look aged, unhealthy, or even unbalanced. In this video, I'm going to break down the biggest mistakes that people make when they are trying to cut body fat. The first mistake is shredding too aggressively. The idea is that you cut calories drastically to try and lose fat drastically. The reason why it's wrong is rapid fat loss can lead to muscle loss too, especially in your face. This can result in a gaunt, hollow appearance that is making you look older. It won't be the type of hollow cheeks you're thinking about, it will just look unhealthy. And dehydration also accompanies aggressive cutting, so it can leave your skin looking dry and dull. Instead, always aim for an achievable, sustainable deficit. We recommend 300 to 500 calorie deficit per day. This ensures that you are losing fat while mitigating muscular atrophy as much as you can. And make sure when you are cutting, you're staying hydrated with 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. Another huge mistake that you guys make when you're trying to cut is you neglect nutrients. You cannot just focus on calorie reduction and forget about nutrient density. A lack of essential nutrients like vitamin A, C, E, and zinc can cause your skin to look pale, dull, and lifeless. And skimping on protein can actually lead to collagen breakdown, making your skin look saggier and more wrinkly. Instead, you need to be prioritizing nutrient-dense foods, leafy greens, anything rich in antioxidants. Ensure that you're getting your healthy fats too, like in your nuts and your avocados. And if you are trying to cut aggressively, at least take a collagen supplement to try and support your skin elasticity in the process. Another mistake is overdoing cardio. A lot of you guys rely heavily on your cardio for fat loss. Well, you should know that excessive cardio can lead to muscle loss, again, including your face. And don't forget that overtraining will increase your cortisol levels. This is also going to cause water retention and puffiness in your face. So even though you are technically getting leaner, it won't look like it facially. So instead, always balance your cardio with strength training. Preserve the muscle mass you have while losing fat. And keep your cardio sessions moderate, ideally 3 to 4 times a week. And when you do your cardio, I would recommend focusing on high intensity interval training, otherwise known as HIIT. Another mistake that you cannot leave out is ignoring your sodium and potassium balance. A lot of people try to cut out sodium entirely, or on the contrary, some people eat too much of it. Too much sodium leads to water retention, which leads to puffiness in the face. Too little sodium, combined with low potassium, can make you look dehydrated and gaunt. Instead, you should have an adequate amount of both. Don't cut out either entirely, and don't overconsume them either. Foods that are rich in potassium, like bananas and spinach, can help balance your potassium to sodium ratio. Now, you cannot go about cutting while neglecting sleep. If you are cutting calories and training hard, but sacrificing your sleep to do so, you may get the opposite results you're looking for. A lack of sleep increases your cortisol, water retention in a puffy face, and poor sleep affects your skin's ability to repair itself, again leaving your face looking more tired and aged than it needs to be. Instead, get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every single night, and like I've mentioned before, use a silk or bamboo pillowcase to minimize skin irritation. Now here's a big one: losing fat without strengthening your jawline. You can't just go about shredding body fat to think that your jaw is going to look so much better. Fat loss can actually expose underlying muscle imbalances in your neck, making you look more asymmetrical. Without targeted exercise, your jawline will probably not look as good. So I would highly recommend checking out all the videos in the jawline section. When cutting as well, you cannot overlook hydration. And I stress this a lot, but that is because it needs to be stressed. People often drink less water to appear leaner or more dry, but dehydration causes your skin to lose its elasticity, and water retention ironically increases when you're dehydrated, which will make your face more puffy. So instead, stay hydrated, 2 to 3 liters every day. I will keep saying this. Another thing to keep in mind if you are on this cut: do not obsess over the weight on the scale. You cannot just focus on the pounds that you're losing instead of your body composition. Chasing lower and lower numbers can lead to excessive muscle loss. Instead, you should be focusing on your body fat percentage. Be taking pictures and measuring it visually, because you may be gaining muscle and losing fat. Your weight could stay pretty much the same despite you're actually improving your physique. So don't get too obsessed with the number on the scale. Use it as a guide, but not a holy grail. And I would highly recommend taking progress pictures every week in the same spot, in the same lighting. That way there in 6 weeks' time, you can look back and visibly see the amount of progress you've made. Now, especially when you get lean, you will have more of your neck muscles on show. And the mistake is having poor posture and tension in your neck and jaw. Tension can create uneven muscle development, and when you're lean, you will see it far more. So you need to practice good posture throughout the day, Mackenzie chin tucks, and it all ties back into jaw. So again, check those videos out. Shredding is an art. If you do it right, you can completely transform your body and your face. But cutting corners and trying to take shortcuts can lead you to have the opposite results, leaving you looking less attractive. So focus on balance, proper nutrition, and sustainable habits that you can maintain long term. Best of luck, gang.